Hear he, hear he. We're ready to get started. Hear ye, hear ye. Constantinople, Constantinople, Constantinople. Look at me be able to say that. Constantinople. Not Istanbul, but Constantinople. If you would have joined us on Wednesday, you would learn how to pronounce Constantinople too, because somebody, I forgot it was Tom or Homer, had said, watch this song by They Must Be Giants or something like that about how to pronounce Constantinople. And here I am. I couldn't pronounce it to save my life the other day. Constantinople. You guys don't even know how to pronounce it. I do now. I can still have teeth. No, that's not my teeth. All right, so Constantinople. Hello, Leisure Harry. And we got Hong's 88. I always forget Hong's first name, but that's all right. That's all right. Hong's lives in Constantinople. All right. So guess where your old buddy Josh. Jeez, Louise and blue cheese. My wife's trying to chill. I got dog duty. Hey, Jill. Chuck B. Come on, Pablo. Pablo, come here. Come here. Oh, boy. Oh, for saying home of YouTube headquarters. Listen to Josh and watching the Georgia game. Yeah, what's the score now? I was never on Obamacare, David. We were never on Obamacare. Hey, Steve. We saw 7-7 Georgia. Am I running out of juice here? What the? Bo D. Hello, Bo D. Bo Dilly, where you been? Down in Watertown drinking gin. So I was on Hong's the nickname of my youngest child right now. Hey, Mary! Look at Mary. Everyone's favorite realtor in Connecticut. Man, how you doing, Mary? I haven't seen you around these parts for a while. Hope you're doing well. I was actually looking up. What was I looking up? But something I thought about you. I think, what it was is I'm back on Facebook now, and something showed up that said Mary Hampton likes this. I think it was like the Wall Street Journal or something like that. I said, Mary. That's still 7-7. Monica, right on. Mining Mouse. The boomers raise race just to help their own retirement. I hope so. Anyway, I hope you're doing well up there, Mary, in Westport, Connecticut. So if you're looking to move to Westport, Connecticut, Westport, and you don't hire Mary, well, you're wrong. This is all there is to it. Bo Dilly, where you been? Down in Watertown drinking gin. Hey, Kevin. We got Scott. Scott, good night. He's already going to good night. Hey, look at my man Eric. Anyway, so we have man, I don't even know what the hell it's called. It sucks donkey ball. So my wife is actually looking right now. She just did sign up for starting in January to go on Obamacare. So my wife was very hesitant because in Fulton County, the three counties I live in is I live in Fulton County, Georgia, and there's Forsyth County, and then there's Cherokee County. They're all HMOs. Hey, Mary, I'm glad to hear you're busy. So, Mary, just type in what your thoughts on the real estate market. Have you ever seen it like this? Has ever been this bad? I mean, how many realtors are out there just sucking wind? Mary's been around for a few years now, a long time. I don't want to make it sound like Mary's over the hill or anything like that, but she's been doing this for a long time. The only thing is, man, there's got to be a lot of people that are freaking hurting out there for sure. You know what I'm saying? Because no houses are selling. It's crazy. There's Eric. So anyway, David, so she was, if it was 20 years. So Mary started real estate when she was still 2 years in the womb, if you know what I'm saying. If you know what I'm saying. Yes, you do. Good. I'm glad to have you on board, Mary. It's good to see you. You know, I always where I offend people, and I'm always like, man, who do I offend? Like Eric wasn't. Yeah, I hadn't seen Eric around these parts for a long time either. I was like, look, I know the Packers suck, but don't hold that against me, dude. I mean, that's not my fault. I know the Packers fans are like the worst in the history of mankind. Bandwagon. You never saw the freaking Redskins playing in the freaking Milwaukee, did you? Well, still short on inventory. Yeah, but realtors need to sell to make money, and if they're not selling anything. So here's the Packers fans, just FYI, guys. Remember, the Packers used to play 3 games a year at Milwaukee County Stadium, whatever that stadium was called, but where the Gorman Thomas, Ben Ogilvy, and the Brewers used to play. That's how loyal of a fan base the Packers were. They're so loyal that they had to play 3 of their 5 home games at Fulton County Stadium, Milwaukee County, whatever the hell that stadium was called. I can't believe I can't remember. And but we're so loyal, we're the best fans ever. Yep, and the Redskins never did that. The freaking Patriots never did that. You know what I'm saying? Any other team? No other team did it except the Packers, because the Packers fans only show up when they win. County Stadium, right on. But was it just called County Stadium? That was when the more dogs on video. Well, we got one right here. That was when the Brewers used to have the best uniforms back then. And where'd he go? And I didn't like the Brewers because they were in the AL. And they were in AL East, just like the Red Sox. Yeah. But those guys, Paul Molitor, all those guys, man. And they played on grass. All right. They had those striped pinstripe uniform, just with a B and the M on there. Lockers, Brewers with the baseball glove, just freaking classic. Oh man, that was when baseball just crushed. I know everybody says that. What are you doing, baby? No, you better not be going pee over there. I'll tell you that right now, Pablo. You just came out from inside. Happy Veterans Day. Let's not have any more. Let's not have veterans become Memorial Day, if you know what I'm saying. So don't send them to more stupid freaking foreign wars. How about that? All right, so going back to what I just said, my man, whatever this guy's name was, David. All right, so David, my wife was an HMO. If it's an HMO, my wife wasn't touching the 10-foot pole. All right, so the insurance we got now is short-term, basically catastrophic stuff, which doesn't really cover anything. Doesn't even cover well checks. Frankly, look. Allopathic medicine sucks donkey balls. That's just all there is to it. Acute care, you got to get a freaking nose chopped off. That's one thing. But they're not here it's not health care. It's sick care. We all know this, man. They don't care about you getting better. They care about you being sick. That's where the money is. It's just a fact. So homeopathic medicine is the way to go. Absolutely. So I didn't really care because I don't want to go see the stupid doctor anyway. I just don't. Now, will I go see him if I'm freaking on death's door? Yeah, certainly. And if I'm freaking in a world of hurt, well, I say, give me something for that. Absolutely. But allopathic medicine is bad. There's just no two ways around this. So we want to avoid that at all costs. However, my wife, even after the pandemic, still sees it differently than me. Still thinks the doctor. And look, I'm not going to fight this battle. My wife, she's in charge of healthcare. However, she wasn't doing an HMO, and she goes, I'm not doing it. So we had this catastrophic coverage, short-term, Dave. It's called short-term. And usually short-term is cheaper because you have to be underwritten every 18 months or so. All right. So if you have a medical condition of some sort, what are you doing, Bubba? You just on the prowl over there. If you have a medical condition or something, essentially, if they can drop you after 18 months, you know what I'm saying? If it looks like there's going to be a significant burden to them financially. So for us, we're like, okay, but it wasn't very cheap. I still think it's $2,300 a month. Now, again, we have a family of 6. Prescriptions weren't covered, nothing like that. Prescription drugs. Well, I tell you, man, what are you going to do? And we go to Costco for prescription drugs, and pretty much Costco kicks ass by and large, not everything. Like EpiPens, they don't have EpiPens at Costco, and EpiPens are freaking crazy expensive. It's crazy, man. Anyway, so now when the thing has come up for renewal, my wife's like, "Damn, this insurance sucks." And I said, maybe she get a job, you know what I'm saying? Because her number one priority is insurance. So she's done some interviewing a little bit, and it just started. And then she's like, man, I don't know if I want to work. You know what I'm saying? Because we still got kids, man. Like, she's got to fly out to San Diego to help my daughter find an apartment. Chloe's going to move out in University of Georgia, so she's going to go up there. Still got 2 kids in high school that need. She's a freaking a stay-at-home mom that isn't compensated at all. That's just all there is to it. And so she's like, I said, look, as long as I'm making money, you don't need to work, but there's no insurance other than through the marketplace or what we currently have or MediShare. But I like MediShare. If we didn't have a daughter with pre-existing conditions, i.e. a significant heart issue, I'd be back on MediShare 2 seconds flat. But we do. And as such, if anything happens with Chloe regarding her heart, MediShare is not going to cover it. They're very explicit, very fair. They say we're not going to cover pre-existing conditions. So we're not going back on MediShare. But if it's just Charlotte and me, we're pretty healthy. I'd say absolutely go on MediShare. It's cheap. It's Christian based, so you're helping out people who don't subscribe to the abortion lobby, who don't subscribe to the 57 flavors and whatnot. And as such, the people take a code of honor that they're not freaking. I think maybe not even drinking. I can't remember, but certainly not smoking crack. You see what I'm saying? So the pool of insured are going to be healthier. most likely going to be married, not all the time. Like Jill's not on Medishare, but Jill is on something else. I forgot what it's called, and she's not married. But they're going to be probably more Christian people are going to be less, consumed with some kind of illness, some kind of injury from something that was put into your body. If you know what I'm saying, I'm not going to say much more than that because they're more. They recognize how the medical system is set up to do one thing and one thing only, which is make the medical system money. That's just a fact. And if you're like, I saw someone in here, a nurse, if you're a nurse, you're not an evil person, 100%. Do not take this wrong. It's kind of like saying the U.S. government as a whole is set up to do one thing and one thing only, to expand the empire of the U.S. government to get the players more money and power. That's just a fact. Does that mean all U.S. citizens are scumbags? No. I mean, Bo Jiden is obviously a scumbag, without question. Nikki Haley, obviously a scumbag, without question. These people are obviously going into politics to get wealthy, and they do. They do a remarkable job at that. I am part of that system as a voter, and I probably will stop voting at some point come 2020. After 2024, probably be my last vote. But hey, here, yes, everybody was asking. There he is. Hey, there he is. So just because you're part of a system that above you, 8 steps above you, is quite evil, doesn't make you an evil person. It just doesn't. That's just stupid. Like, it's kind of like saying, I don't think we landed on the moon. Oh, you believe it's a hoax? All these people had to be in on it. I'm like, no, all these people didn't have to be in on it. How many people are in on the VW hoax? How many people are in on the Enron hoax, the WorldCom hoax? I mean, it takes a few people, man. So not every single engineer, freaking Lockheed Martin, it wasn't Lockheed Martin, Martin Marietta, whatever it was back then, was in on the moon landing hoax. I mean, just because, but how many people? 400,000 people had to be in on it. It's just a silly thing to say. Anyway, so now that she has seen that the Obamacare stuff in of itself for the HMO isn't as bad as what she initially thought, it put a fire under her butt to start looking deep into it. And it friggin' sucks, dude. Looking at that stuff, it makes literally, I can't. I don't have the capacity to dive deep into that kind of detail like my wife does, and to recognize, like, I can't. It literally, I'd rather be uninsured than looking through that detail of Obamacare. But my wife, because women are maternal, men are paternal, and women take care of their children better than men do. It's just fact. Doesn't mean all women do and all men don't. But come on, it's silly to think the other way around. All right, so I saw another comment here. New Hampshire Jeff, right on. Look at New Hampshire Jeff, looking large. Right here. 49, I got free time to switch 80% of holding to bonds the day after the biggest day in the Dow. Now shaking my head, get back now or stay? No way I can answer that, nurse artist. Should I get back in? Pablo's right here, Brian. Here's Vern from Maryland. Return my way from West Virginia. Find out that both 2024 gold package for the Milwaukee season C ticket owners. Packers shareholder. You got taking advantage of. We'll TRICARE for life. All right, Joe Cannon. We can't just sign up for TRICARE for life. I had to change my name after the Jeffrey Dahmer thing came out to Netflix. Gave me a bad vibe. We all know what Josh does for fun. We're going to probably pay almost $3,000 a month, Cute Humor. For a family of 6, I get to, it's a business expense. I'm a small business owner, so we can get to write off some of that. But I mean, how much are you writing off? 20%. So $3,000 a month. Now it's a low deductible. My wife wants a low deductible. I couldn't disagree more, but I'm not going to fight the battle against my wife then, because the health insurance is what makes her nervous. I get my blood drawn every year as there are things looking monitored, or doctors just keep doing what you're doing, 100%. Just because you're restricted on providers that you have access to, like, we have allergists and stuff like that. We really want to be in network. That's it. I mean, you're restricted, and so if you're traveling and you're out of network, it's going to be more expensive to you if you need some kind of medical stuff. The best way to deal with all this is obviously get healthy, man. That's all there is to it. Recently spent 15 to 16 hours in the hospital, admitted ER, transferred to ICU, came up to Zero insurance and AC. Damn, dude, you okay, Fever Flav? I recently spent basically a day in the hospital, admitted to ER, transfer ICU, overnight observation, came to $8,700, zero insurance and AC. I don't know what AC is. Yeah, there you go. Jill says she uses solidarity. Constantinople, here we come. Constantinople. Yeah, Jill, and Jill's a healthy and happy chap. Part of the benefit of being a Christian is you're happy. You should be. If you're an angry person, you're probably not really a Christian. I think there's lots of reasons you shouldn't be angry. As such, being happy creates a good vibe, a good aura, which makes your body respond accordingly. You see how Eric is dodging my Packers slight? Because he knows the Packers are bandwagon. Oh, Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. Remember when Brett Favre came up? Brett Favre, he sucks. Bring back Dan Majkowski. Remember Dan Majkowski? Interesting. $29 online healthcare. All done by IA. Cracks on this. All right, Pulverizer. I got a mea culpa. I was listening to the first two songs on the final cut by Pink Floyd, and that's all I've listened to so far. And those two songs are friggin' breathtaking. I'm not gonna lie. All right, The Wall, I don't like it. No other way around that. Whatever that wall was, that bores me the hell out of me. There's a couple good songs there, but generally speaking, I would rather put my head, instead of listening to The Wall, I'd rather put my head in a blender and have my child, who I just spanked, keep going like that, and listen to The Wall. But the final cut by Pink Floyd, apparently, I was reading some comments. They said that basically Roger Waters' a solo album with David Gilmour and the boys behind him. First of all, Roger Waters, however anyone thinks, but I don't care. Roger Waters is from a lyrical perspective, that guy's freaking genius. There's no way around that. Those first two songs, and I've only listened to two, so I'm 2 for 2 in the final cut from Pink Floyd. Thus, this shows you that you can change, because I did a video that says Pink Floyd, the most overrated band in the history of mankind. Because up until, and look, so Owen Benjamin loves Pink Floyd. He plays them all the time. And I was like, but he plays a piano, and the piano touches your soul in a way a guitar can't. And so I was like, yeah, that sounds good by Owen Benjamin doing it. But I bet if I listen to the album, I bet it's not going to sound that good. And it does, even though there's the piano is just such a freaking, that's straight from God, dude. If you can play the piano, it just, whew. I was watching this video. This guy went home to Vinyl Haven, Maine. And I've never been to Vinyl Haven, Maine. I don't even know where the hell it is, but it's an island in Maine. You know what I'm saying? And he got a guy playing the piano in there. It literally brought tears to my eyes. I was like, this, because you're hearing it, the song. This guy goes home to Vinyl Haven, Maine for the first time in, I don't know, decades, I suppose. And he doesn't even talk. He's just going around the island. It's just, man, it's like, you got the kind of, oh, man, it is friggin'. It was great. The piano is such a freak. Oh, man. Here's a man cute. He pays about $300 a month for himself and kids, $3K deductible. I got $975 off of a premium if I achieve my health at my job. Well, yeah, that's because you're at your work. I am my work. I left the mainstream healthcare private duty for fragile kiddos now. Hey, right. Look at my nurse artist. Right on. All right, so I'm glad you. All right, so should you go back into stocks from bonds? I can't answer that, nurse artist. However, dude, I don't know who you are. I mean, you could be freaking straight from the SEC and try to, send me to jail with freaking, what they're trying to do to Trump. So I don't know. I just know that. Well, you made the decision. Would you have made? So here's how you always look at if you should invest. Like you look at your portfolio, you say, would I have bought that position today? Not given what I know now, not what happened, would I be where I am today? All right. So I think she said at the end of 2022 or 2022 or something like that. So would you be in bonds today? If the answer is no, then you sell and then you go back the way it was. But then you have to say to yourself, why am I saying that? And if you say, well, because the market got tanked, that has no impact. I mean, a little bit impact, but not much. The past doesn't have a huge impact on the future market. There is some. I mean, there is some trends, and we get all that. You all right, baby? Yeah. Where's your brother, by the way? Anyway, So the question I would ask you to answer is, would you be in those bonds today? And I would just say, for me, now the bonds look freaking fantastic. Dude. 100%. The bonds look fantastic because the interest rates are so high. The damage is basically done. Now, I don't know. I'm not God. I can't predict the future. But is the carnage that we had in bonds, which was the worst market we ever had in the histoire, as us French speakers say, histoire, will that repeat itself? And the answer is unequivocally no. I mean, I could be wrong. But for the bonds to get the same damage that we had last year, the interest rates, I don't know, have to go from like 5 to 35% or something like that. It's just not going to happen. I mean, look, anything could happen. So anyway, I would look at it like that. Hey, Marie, my man Ted Westerfield, right on. Get some dog insurance. Oops. None of them were in on it. It was compartmentalized. Yeah, right here. Look at that. Obamacare would cost Harry $1,000 a month just for him and his wife. And his wife's a freaking breadwinner in that family because Harry's just sitting around eating bonbons and smoking crack. All right. Retailers offer a new service in partnership with Sesame directly. Yeah, GT I figured, yeah. Invested in an annuity to give myself a pension. Is this a good idea? Well, sounds like you already did it. So, I'm not an anti-annuity guy. I like annuities. Are they for everybody? Of course not. I like whole life insurance. Is whole life insurance for everybody? Of course not. But these aren't scams. Someone sent me a video of Dave Ramsey still spouting his 12% rates of return and 8% withdrawal rates. What the hell? That crazy. There's Bo. Chicken. He's 54, have a pension from teaching college, a military pension, Social Security at 62, but want to just quit now. Well, why don't you do it, man? What's happening? All right on Favorite Flav, other than being a Packers fan. ACA is pretty good if income is under 100 single, still qualify for credits for premiums. Yeah, that might be good on a premium perspective. The question is it good on a provider perspective? There's a huge difference when you're uninsured. Okay, gotcha. Right on. Has anyone heard from the man who's having the heart procedure? Oh, was that Andrew? Yeah, Andrew. Yeah, Andrew emailed me the other day. I'm beginning to sign for Medicare. I understand I should stay away from Medicare Advantage plans. That's called Part C, Medicare Advantage, and Part C, the same thing. Yeah, if you got the scratch, I would spend the extra couple $100 a month without question to get a Medicare supplemental policy, like a Plan G. Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's just for myriad number of reasons. But if you can't afford it, then no, nothing wrong with Plan C. I would go Medicare supplemental, i.e. Medigap. So you got Medigap, Medicare supplement. Those are the same things. Part C and Medicare Advantage are the same things. It just makes it confusing. So I would personally go with Plan. I'm not a licensed health insurance person here, but Plan G and Plan N. It used to be Plan F was the premier. They got rid of that. No new people can go to Plan N, so now it's Plan G. I imagine the same thing with Plan G will all revert to Plan N in a couple of years. For the D's? Oh, it's gonna be Trump for the R's and the D. I don't know, man. I mean, I think they're gonna put a Bob Torricelli. Remember when they got rid of Bob Torricelli in New Jersey? They waited till they can do whatever they want. The Democrats literally can do whatever they want. So they'll remove Biden for sure, and then they're going to throw. The question is who they're going to throw in there, but they're going to throw who they're told to. Man, I mean, look, they all of them, they just all freaking kneeled before Biden. It wasn't before Biden. It wasn't before James Clyburn. It was before whoever the evil schmucks are who control the Democratic Party. They said, we're going to do Biden. You're going to go along with it. And they all fell. It's crazy. Look, I knew the Democrats were corrupt. I knew after they, kept Bernie out, but for a stupid Hillary or a crooked Hillary, but seeing them just capitulate to Biden, I was like, I get Obama. Obama's a black guy. He walks on water, and I get that. The Democrats, they can never say, oh, we don't want to. And of course, Obama isn't a black American. You know what I'm saying? He's not an American descendant, an African descendant of slavery in the United States. You know what I'm saying? He's just not. And yet they all fell because he's a black guy. And the Democrats who control all right, I better be careful what I'm going to say. The Republicans have a better trajectory to electoral college victories by pursuing a more tolerant view of the Middle East tensions as opposed to going full throttle pro-Israel. I'm just telling you right now, there is more people who have more votes to cast, if the votes are truly cast, you know what I'm saying, who are more aligned with the social conservatism of the GOP than we'll ever get, ever, by appealing to a small segment of the pro-Israeli people, if you know what I'm saying. And as such, the Republicans just so freaking stupid, man. So stupid. It's mind-boggling. So at the end of the day, it's going to be Trump. And at the end of the day, I hope Trump backs off, freaking you going crazy on Israel and says, look, we have to have a more tolerant process of a Middle East peace process, without question. Because, I mean, there's just more political clout there. This is what the Democrats do, and they're great at it. They see who their voters are, and they appeal to their voters. Now, they don't care. I mean, the Democrats literally don't care, but they want to say, well, we don't. The last thing a typical white lib with money wants to be called is a racist. Now, the top of the Democrats, they could care less. They don't care if you're black. I mean, hell, they do. They want all the, the rich whites, whoever is white. Who are those people? I don't know. But they want, it's not Nancy Pelosi who's even above them. They don't care. I mean, if anything, they're just like Margaret Sanger and stuff. They just don't like a certain group of people that happen to vote 90% for the Democratic Party. That's just a fact. And if those people can't see it, that's on them. We can't do anything about that anymore. Stop trying to. They're going to have to figure it out on their own. At the same time, the people who control the Democratic Party, the people who are the activists in the Democratic Party, a lot of single angry cat women who are just not very happy people. They're just not. You know what I'm saying? Up in the Northeast, they got all this disposable income because their daddy was rich and left them all this money. And they love to donate to Emily's List, the SPLC, probably ADL, never mind the NAACP and all that stuff. They love to donate to that. Black Lives Matter. They love it. The one thing they can't stand is forever being. So not only do they not want to be called racist, they compete to show he's the least racist. And one of the ways these guys show they're least racist, you know how they do it? Is they say, look at Jane over there. She didn't stand up for the Black Lives Matter rally. I did Black Lives Matter. I did. I'm so righteous. And then freaking Susie says, oh, you think Jane didn't stand up for the Black Lives Matter rally? Well, freaking Barbara didn't break windows for the Black Lives Matter rally. I did. As they scurry on back to the rich suburban areas. You know what I'm saying? That's what they do. So the Democratic Party, they're just scoundrels. There's no other way around it. It's scoundrels. The Republican Party isn't it? I mean, look, the RNC, God, give me a break. You all right? What's up, Doc? Come here. You want to come say hi to everybody? Come on up. Come on, uppy. Come here, Finny. Come on. You can do it. Oh, there he is. Kisses. Give me the antibodies. Love this guy too. Antibodies. Yes, sir. No, just chill, buddy. All right, so I don't know who's going to be. It's not. I mean, it could be gruesome. I don't think it's going to be another white guy, though. I think the Democrats are too far into that ethnicity or racial stuff. I don't think they can get another white guy. I think it's got to be a black guy or a queer black. Who would that be? It's not. I mean, look. Yeah. The only other thing is that the Big Big Mike falls because she's, Big Mike, because she's angry enough, you know what I'm saying? They call me an angry black woman. Yeah, because you are. You're an angry black woman. That's all there's to it. And she's mean, you know what I'm saying? She's a mean woman. That's a fact. The white libs love her. They love her because she does punch back. And she's black, and she's an American black, you know what I'm saying? Unlike Kamala, unlike Obama. And so she would, check all those things. And I think she'd be competitive. No other way around that. I just do. I mean, for all their faults, the Obamas and the Bidens, they know how to play politics. I mean, they get advantages that the Republicans will never get, but That's why Trump is going to be the nominee, because Republicans, this is what the mainstream Republican establishment doesn't understand. Look, I'm going to speak for the mainstream Republican establishment. I'm going to for the anti-mainstream Republican establishment. We don't care about the arguments for pro-growth tax cuts. We don't care free trade, all that stuff. I mean, we care about it. It's not first priority. First priority is saving the damn country. And the way you do that isn't like, I will meet in the middle with Democrats who see things. Those days were Reagan has those. That's fine. Those days are over now. We want someone to friggin' punch back twice as hard, just like Obama said. That's what we want. We don't want someone like, and if things can't get done, we don't mind. We're like, yeah, we like it. When there's stalemate in the government, that means nothing's getting done. Because when the government operates, it operates to limit our freedom. That's just a fact. So the less they operate, the better off we all are. So we don't care. So there's going to be a government still. Yeah, oh, that's great. Bring it on. That's what we want. We want that. And we've been hearing it so far for so many. I can reach across the aisle. Give me a flipping break. There's Maurice. You got ACA. Yeah, she lives in a county where you can get a PPO as opposed to HMO. And I'll start here my little presentation in just a second. Oh, yeah, Jill. I mean, come on. People still think Obamacare is affordable. They don't know what, I mean, like, he ruined the private insurance market in terms of for us to afford. He didn't ruin the private insurance market for the insurers. That's called fascism. Fascism 101 right there, the health insurance issue. Right here. Here we got Ray. Just watch a video on younger spouse collecting at 62 and you wait till 70. Same here. Defiantly the best. So Ray is defiantly saying it's the best way to leverage the benefits. Right on, man. Owens, yeah, he 100%. And my man James. Not now. John is my favorite from the final cut. There's Carol. Hey, Carol. Hey. Look at Carol's dog. How doggone cute. All right, so just reminds me, we were at a training session today. Old Shar. 1 second. I don't think it's that. I think it's 50. Yeah, right here. Sweet. We were at a training session today. Me, my spouse, and my 2 sons, with my man Silas here from 580tactical.com up about an hour north of Chattanooga. And what we did is we went on this tracking and awareness class. And this was great, dude. This was great. Introduction is Introduction. This is one we went to today. It was fantastic. Introduction to animal tracking, small personalized tracking class, a free deck of these cards that we got right there, which are freaking real cool. Cater lunch, a free system of 10 times your tracking ability. Yep. It was great. So let's just watch this.
Look around. Pay close attention. The forest is telling you a story. Can you hear it? Can you see it? Tracking is a game of deduction, much more than just being able to follow a set of animal tracks through the woods. Tracking is about expanding your level of awareness so you can see and understand what's happening around you. Silva tracking flashcards are designed to teach you how to recognize animal tracks, as well as how to track, how to expand your observational skills, how to track over difficult terrain, how to move silently.
Yep.
These cards will teach you how to read the landscape like a book, how aware you want to be, how much you want to be able to see.
So we went to that train. It was fantastic. So I met this guy, Silas, when I was at when I went to the installing photovoltaic workshop up in that part, right, his next door neighbor. And Silas he and the guy who led the course today were both in 287 as officers. I was in 187 as a lowly enlisted guy. And I guess they were butter bar lieutenants together at 287. And I guess they went to Ranger School and the whole thing together. And I don't know what they did throughout their careers, but turns out they had lost contact with each other until I guess one of their cohorts died and they went to the funeral. and they regain contact. So it's funny because Silas is a very talkative guy, kind of like me. You know, he's a very open book, real good guy. I very much enjoy him. And the other guy, David, who's actually from Virginia, who led the training today, is a very nice guy. I mean, great guy. Just no nonsense. I don't want to say hippy dippy, but it's not hippy dippy, not like that, but definitely more deeper. That's not what I'm trying to say. Just a different. I can't explain it, man. It's just a different personality of more observant, if that makes sense. And anyway, so we learned, man. I tell you, I learned a lot. I'm not gonna be able to do it. Like maybe I could draw it. For instance, I'm not gonna. I'll screw it up. But one of the main things we learned today is very interesting. So David does a lot of meditation stuff. He said the one thing I've learned in meditation, he's learned a lot, but this is interesting. He goes, if you meditate and you're out on the back porch and you get to a place of peace where you get your monkey mind at ease with your surroundings, you'll start to see that birds start showing up. I said, man, it made me think of the rice experiment, and I'm not going to get in the rice experiment here, but like there's some kind of aura that is around your body, around your very soul. And when you're at peace, nature and wildlife recognizes it and finds you as less threatening. It's just, he said, look, I'm telling you, you can try it on your own. But I didn't believe it when I first heard this. And then I started meditating and I was able to develop a level of peace in my meditation. And all of a sudden, maybe it was hummingbirds, but birds that before were not coming around anymore started to come around more. He goes, I'm telling you, man, it's crazy. There's an aura that your body, like Finney, he knows when I'm upset. You know what I'm saying? He knows. He doesn't have to hear it in my voice. He just feels it in my aura. It's crazy. And then when we're doing the tracking out in the woods, and Silas got this huge freaking beautiful plot of land in the mountains of Tennessee. It's just freaking gorgeous. And you're just walking and you're like, man, what was the one thing we learned today? Like, it rained yesterday. Don't forget, I went to Ranger School. I was, 2 times up in Mountain in Dahlonega. So it's 1990 and it's been freaking 35 years basically, but I'm not ignorant of some of this stuff, but I'm not, but I mean, I was like, stuff I learned today, I was like, damn, I didn't even know that. So I can't what was he saying? Like, if you're walking, and I'm drawing a blank, there's a couple of things that's key. Like one, how you can track the animals. And then the other one, how you, you start your situational awareness. Don't just get, and we know this by obvious, but don't just be blind, like focused. You got to be looking around. You know what I'm saying? You got to be looking around, keeping your head somewhat on a swivel. Just keep looking around to identify threats. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that's what it was. You go like this, 180 degrees, and you kind of bring it in until you can see your hands. And that's going to be your field of sight right there. Now, you're not going to be walking around like this all the time, but you're just kind of moving your eyes around, just trying to see your situational awareness. Like, what is the risk that you see out there? And as you start doing that and training your mind to do it, it becomes second nature. You become better and better at it. And then when you're out in the woods, you'll start seeing little paths like he showed us today. We're going, for 4 hours, 5 hours out in the woods, something like that. You start seeing these paths, these trails of like where animals would naturally gravitate towards. And that's, you just start seeing it. It's crazy. And I was like, oh yeah, I'd never, it's weird, man. You just start seeing it. And he gave an example, and my wife said, that's funny because basically what happens, like where a meadow and a forest meet, that's going to be where there's a lot of activity among animals, like a meadow and a forest, a river and a meadow, a river and a forest, something like that. Because that's where there's a lot of different wildlife, for instance, a lot of different activity, a lot of different things happening at these meetings right there. And so if you're setting up traps, for instance, or you're setting a trap, you want to be where the animals are going to be, because that's where your stuff is. Anyway, so my wife was saying, she gave an example. Basically, she's running on a path, right? And what happened was she was on the trail, and a chipmunk ran in front of her, probably 5 feet in front of her. And out of nowhere, a hawk swooped down and took the chipmunk out. And it's interesting because right before that, Dave was saying, you'll notice that hawks will, a lot of times, if you're out in the woods or just kind of walking around, hawks will be above you. And he goes, the reason the hawks do that is because a lot of times those wildlife will react to your presence and open themselves up. Like they'll say, oh, here comes either something I'm comfortable with, a human being. Like I see these guys all the time, they don't scare me, so I can just keep going on my business like it's no big deal. Or here comes something that I'm gonna get out in front of, so he doesn't get me. So in this case, the chipmunk, and who was seeing my wife came, said, I'm gonna go in front of her and get out of this position, but I'm gonna get out in front of her so far that she can't get me. And what the hawk says, yes, that's exactly what you're gonna do. The human being's presence alone is gonna create some I don't know, like an aura for the chipmunk to say, I better get out of here. And when he does that, shoot, and literally he just got done saying that. My wife says exactly what happened. Very, very interesting, man. Anyway, it's crazy. It's a lot of fun. That's my guy Silas, and he's got all kinds of stuff. So next year we're going to take, next year being 2024, we're going to get one of these specialized rifle courses right here. It'll be fun. So you can get these specialized rifle courses, and it's great, man. Rifle safety, loading on basic rifle malfunctions. We might go this one here, defensive tactical rifle course, on how to how to manage so you don't get like overwhelmed emotionally. You stay calm. Man, it's great. I loved it, man. It's so fun. All right, let's see what else we got. Yeah. No, Andrew, he's emailed me back and forth. Yes, sir. Damn, 983 just your wife. Look at right wing profile. Where you been lately, man? Yeah, Ted is crazy, man. Obamacare is price specific to zip code. Here goes right wing professor. Right on. All right, cool. No, you can go back. It's just gonna be underwritten. So the nurse says once you go on Medicare Advantage, you can't go back. That's not true. You can. It's just you have to be underwritten. So that the nice thing with Medicare supplemental policy is you're not underwritten when you're first eligible. They'll take all comers. However, if you go to Plan C initially, then you have some issues that your plan. If you go to Plan C, and then you have some issues later on that Plan C no longer covers, and only Medicare supplemental cover. You got to be underwritten for it, and they might deny it. Now some states, I think it's Connecticut, some of the liberal states, it's guaranteed issue, which means you don't have to be underwritten, which means it's freaking crazy expensive because any kind of insurance that's not really insurance, that's guaranteed issue, is going to be crazy expensive. Yeah, don't pay attention to polls, man. They're only putting that out there to try to get Biden to drop out. I mean, it's literally what they're doing. I mean, they're setting it up for Biden to walk away. So remember with Torricelli, what I was saying in New Jersey, they basically replaced him with Frank Lautenberg, the old Frank, at the last minute. And, you're not supposed to do that, but no one cares. If the Democrats do it, nobody cares. They're going to do the same thing with Biden. So they didn't have a chance to have a real primary. They said, oh, we're going to choose. Basically, the powers that be chose the replacement for Torricelli, and it was Frank Lautenberg. And the Democrats, they don't want to have a big primary, knuckle draw thing here. So they're going to say it probably come May. It'll be after Super Tuesdays. Probably come April. They'll say, Biden, you're too old. We're going to replace you with, Joe Schmo Snuffy, Big Mike. They'll replace him with Big Mike. You can see it's a mile away, man, because they don't want a friggin' primary. And everyone will just capitulate, just like they did with Biden. They all just fell in line. It was crazy. From freaking, Pocahontas to Kamala to freaking all of them, Bernie, they all just fell in line. They're freaking, Crazy Pete there. Yeah. Vivek was on fire at the debate. Look, I'm not a big fan of that guy, but that guy, he was freaking kudos to you, Vivek, freaking whatever the hell you are. You know what I'm saying? He was freaking, that was a kick-ass sermon that guy gave. I was like, damn, some Republicans actually get it. You know what I'm saying? I remember when Newt Gingrich tried to do that in like 2012 or something like that. I said, Newt, you're a little too late, man. You're too late. You should have been doing that. I mean, he kind of did it, in the 90s and stuff, but Newt got fat and happy with the power. He did, man. He loved the cushy stuff, being on the plane with Clinton. How dare you put me in the back seat? I mean, the whole thing, of course, it's such a freaking clown show. Not Newt, what the media does. But being in power makes it feel good. It does. I've never been in power, but I imagine you're like, yeah, I like when everyone's kissing my ass. But just think about it. I was thinking about this on the way up to Tennessee today. What happened to Bill O'Reilly? I mean, is he still? I mean, no one cares what Bill O'Reilly says. The platform he was granted, if that makes sense. So Bill, same thing with Newt Gingrich. The same thing with all these people. They don't care who you are. They just care what platform you have. That's it. And if you have a platform that was provided to you by some other entity, remember, Rush Limbaugh built his platform on his own. That's just a fact. Bill O'Reilly did not. Bill O'Reilly was given a time slot on Fox News as such. Owen Benjamin built his platform on his own. So when they banned him for everything, he still had enough because people liked him. People like Rush Limbaugh. You see what I'm saying? The guys like Bill O'Reilly, all these clowns, Karl Rove, no one cares about these people because they didn't do it on their own. They were given that responsibility. And once that the people who gave it to him took it away, Bill O'Reilly, literally, Bill O'Reilly. That's why it's like when Trump was going on the thing with Bill O'Reilly, pushing vax on everybody. It's like, what are you doing, Trump? It's weird. You know what I'm saying? Trump tries a lot of experiments. I'm not going to lie to you. What I like about Trump, he's not afraid to try something. I can't vote for Trump. He was with, Bill O'Reilly. Well, he tried and didn't work, man. You know what I'm saying? I can't vote for Trump. He was Operation Warp Speed. Well, I don't like Operation Warp Speed either. I think it's a freaking, I think Trump made a huge mistake. I'll still vote for him. I mean, like I said, it'll probably be the last time I ever vote. But at the end of the day, he tries stuff. He says, will this work? If it works, I'm going with it. If it doesn't, I don't. Unlike most Republicans, I want a flat tax, which I like, but no one, that's not going to get people to polls. I want free trade, and I want to have freaking economic stimulus plan for the inner cities. Okay. Everyone's like, ugh. Who are you? Right. That Dave Ramsey vlog was a hoot. Give a hoot, don't pollute. With a guy from Streamline was a hoot. The Dave Ramsey vlog was a hoot with the guy from Streamline Financial. Was he on with Streamline Financial guy? Yeah, right. Right on. Here's Carol. Carol gets it right on. You have to qualify after 100%, man. Yeah, pendulum swings both ways, as do you, Fever Flame. You walked into that. Fever Flame swings both ways. He goes, I'll try anything once, especially if I'm drunk on a six-pack of Guinness. Look at Fever Flame. That's why he went to the ICU. He said, man, I'll try anything. Swings both ways. Next thing you know, it's in the ICU. Man, lesson learned, Flavor Flav. Lesson learned. Getting into Christmas stock rally soon. I don't know, man. Right there. Hispanic population, the largest growing demographic. Yeah, and they're definitely social, economically liberal. That's just a fact. There's no two ways around it. I'm not so sure they're socially conservative. Let's just put it this way. If you look at what's going on, like Chile, I don't know about Latin, the middle, Nicaragua and Guatemala, Central American countries, but these far left-wing, socially left-wing countries that are supposedly Catholic, just clown shows. So I think look, you do the best you can, but at the end of the day, crime and order are the way to appeal to that group of people. It's not going to be tax cuts. It's probably not going to be abortion, which is crazy to me, but it's going to be crime and order for those people right there. So that's why Trump freaking is, crime. One second, let's see. Why is that down here? Come on, let's go. Okay. Gridlock is good, 100%. Come on, baby. Silly professor. All right, so I'm going to get my little thing here. Come on. Yeah, my sister stops around like us all the time. So we had to do this thing where we're coming up on each other stealthily, like it's called stalking. And I had Charlotte as and I can't hear crap, so she killed me a couple of times. And I was coming up on her, and she goes, "Man, I heard you like a mile away. You're like an elephant in a bull in a china shop." All right, Live traps. Agree on meditation. Once you clear your mind, your open experience thing. Come on, Finney. Come on. Look at Patrick O'Brien. Right. Keep going. I've seen her laying in the woods multiple times on drives, not to mention seeing them when they're not laying down. The Johnny Blaze. Josh, one of the best channels on YouTube outside of slurping on annuities on whole life. Oh, boy. I do think Big Mike's getting in, man. Big Mike. Finney, come on. No, I don't want Vivek. I want Trump and General Flynn. I'd love to see General Flynn, 100%. I want to say Perot was the first one who low blowed. I don't think that. I love my local club gun range. We have a 10 lane. Wow. Yeah, the bigger the microphone. Yeah. All right, cool. So, all right, let's go down. Look at Fever Flav going double duty, if you know what I'm saying. All right, let's come on. I'm gonna hit my article here. I want to talk about. Come on, babe, just come on in. Man, you got ants in your pants, dog, man. Come on, there we go. All right, just chill, baby cakes. Right, you want to sit over there with me? Is that what you're saying, buddy? You just want to sit on my lap? All right, we'll sit together. Come on, come on. Yeah, I don't want freaking Vivek as VP. No way. Put him as one of the Department of the Interior or something like that. But I don't know who it'd be. Yeah, maybe put him as SEC chairman. All right, we're gonna sit over here and have Finney come join us. Come on, baby cakes. Oh, there he goes. All right, there he is. All right, look at that big old. Look at that brown eye. Hi, brown eye. Hey, Finney. Look. There he is. Yay. Pablo's upstairs with Mama. Yeah, there he is. Oh, thank you. Look, Finney, who is that? Finn, who is that right there? Finney. Finn. Nichols. Look, who is that right there? Who is that? Who is that? Can you see yourself? What? Who is it? Finn, look right here. Finn, over here. Finn. Who is it? Who is it, gorgeous? Look at Jack. Look at that freaking. Look at that. That's just all muscle right there. See his jaw. Man, he's just jacked, this guy. Look at those jaw muscles. I just love him, man. I love both of them. Pablo and Finn are just so different. All right. So I want to share this article with you. Caleb Hammer on Financial Audit YouTube. Funny how young people don't know about money, have many credit card balances. I think I've heard that, guys. I think Marie, you're the one who told me about Caleb Hammer. All right. Pablo's upstairs with his mom. Yeah, I can tell I'm putting on a couple pounds. I've been eating my knee hurts, so I haven't walked for the last couple of days. I've eaten a bunch of candy, so the Halloween candy is still running around here. So I feel like I put on a couple pounds. Not good. All right. Keep our hells. All right, so let's go into this right here. So I'm going to share with you guys something. Here we go. If that's okay with Fever Flav. All right, right here. So here's an article that I saw in the Wall Street Journal. Okay. Oh boy. Look. Oh, by the way, let's just put it this way. There's a gold company who wanted to be a sponsor on my YouTube channel. And I'm not going to say the name. And I don't fault anybody who gets money from these sponsors. I'm not touching that 10-foot pole, man. I just it's a company that many right-wing channels, they subscribe to. No, thank you, no how. I mean, JM Bullion is a gold company I use. JM Bullion. I don't get paid. They don't know who I am. I'll get paid from them. If I ever sponsor something, it would have to be something that is near and dear to my heart. Like I would sponsor JM Bullion for sure because I've used them. I like them. I would sponsor freaking Costco. They'll never sponsor me. My man right there, 580 Tactical, Silas. He didn't pay me or anything. I actually going to interview him. I'd like to. I'll sponsor somebody. I mean, if someone wants to pay me, If it's near and dear to me, I'll freaking accept the advertising. Don't get me wrong. I'm not doing freaking like how to shave your privates, like whatever that manscaping stuff. No, I'll never do that crap. I'll say I'd never. There's no way under God's green earth, as far as God willing, that it sponsors something that I don't use or I don't find value in. And this gold company, I said, I don't find value in what you're offering. I'm not going to use you. I've had other companies too that reach out to me. It's like, no, I'm not doing that. And it's just, I hate when they come out with like the Patriots mount up, with a Patriot, we're the Patriots. That stuff bothers me, man. I don't like it at all. And it freaking, anyway, it's just kind of funny. And they always say, what's your price? I've never done a sponsorship. I don't have a price. As such, I don't know. It's just kind of funny. If people do sponsor, I don't have any animosity towards them. But just because, like, I remember one time, just real quick, Rush Limbaugh advertised Bowl and Branch, and I bought some because I want to support Rush. And they're okay. It was fine. Yeah, it was a stupid purchase, though. It was just to support Rush. And I said, it's funny though, because Bowl and Brand, it's just a waste of money, man. It was. Don't waste your money supporting, Ben Shapiro. Promo code Ben Shapiro. 1-800-VACCINE. Use promo code Ben Shapiro for buy one get one free with Travis Kelce. You know what I'm saying? Just don't do that, man. If it's a product that you like, that you need, and it is useful for you and has a utility, by all means, do it. But I hate that crap, man. Now, look, everyone has a right to make money, but some of these guys, I don't like it. I'm not gonna lie. That Bowl and Brandon was stupid. That was just a dumb thing. And I like Rush, but I was happy to buy his Rush Revere books. Very much enjoyed those. I bought every book Rush ever did. But that stuff was just so tomorrow I'll be advertising Bowl and Brandon. So let's go in here. You're already an hour in. You haven't talked about the topic. All right. Well, sue me. All right. So right here. Older Americans are better off than ever, says John Cogan and Daniel Heil. Ooh, how dare I? I already had a guy call me anti-Semitic. That's funny. A guy calls me anti-Semitic. I said, what? I hate all the... Do you even know what a Semite is? Does anyone know what a Semite is? It's like, you're anti-Semitic. It's like, huh? It's so stupid, man. Oh my! The same guy also called me pro-Putin because I didn't want the war in Ukraine, us to back the Ukrainians or send good money after bad. You're pro-Putin. You're anti-Semite. It's like, I think what it is you just got blood. You want blood, and you want Russian blood, and you want Muslim blood. That's what I think it is. Anti-Semite. So, by the way, if you want Palestinian blood, you're an anti-Semite too. I'm just pointing out there. Denise, right on. Oh, Ben Shapiro sucks. He's horrible. Ben Shapiro is absolutely. Ben Shapiro is not a good guy. Dude. He's not on our side. No way, no how. No. But he dominated some liberal, some college-educated liberal. Okay. Or some college liberal. Wow. No, Ben Shapiro, no. Not a fan, man. It's kind of like I remember Bill O'Reilly. Never liked Bill O'Reilly, man. Never liked Bill O'Reilly. And Ben Shapiro, they all kind of just, Ben Shapiro was put on the scene, was like a teenager or something like that, writing for like Commentary magazine as a teen. I don't even know who Ben Shapiro's parents are. This is stealth, stealthful. That's just a fact, man. And it's kind of like Elon Musk. Dude, these guys are all put on there, like freaking Jeff Bezos. You know what I'm saying? Hell, Bill Gates probably. By the way, Bill Gates' dad was not part of the Planned Parenthood original. That's not, or his granddad, or maybe his granddad. I don't think so. But there's a Bill Gates who's part of the original Planned Parenthood. That's not, that's not the Bill Gates we're talking about. That's not his dad. At least that I could tell. Just FYI. But Elon Musk, he didn't just wake up one day as a brilliant engineer. Okay. What are we doing here, big? Okay. All right. So let's. Oh, excuse me. Okay. There we go. Yeah, I don't control things. I'm being controlled. I'm being controlled by a big old brown eye. All right. So I want to go down and see what these guys are right here. So here we got. You got Kogan is a senior at Stanford University's Hoover Institution. And so they're both Hoover Institution people. And I'm a big fan of Hoover Institution because that's where Thomas Sowell is. So Thomas Sowell, I think Victor Davis Hansen's there too, VDH. So then I want to go over here. We're going to stop this and we're going to read the article that they had here. I'm going to show you the article that they referenced. Unfortunately, they referenced a 2022 one, but it came up a 404. So I got to look at the one from 2020 instead. Right here. All right, here we go. So this is from 2020 that they had written, or 2022. They have a new one with 2020 numbers, but they had a 404 error. So it's going to go over this. So Stanford University, Hoover Institution. Now, they're not Stanford employees. They're employed, I don't think. They're employed by the Hoover Institution, which I'm a huge fan of, by the way. And Hoover Institution has a great YouTube channel. So right here. We use the Survey for Consumer Finances, the SCF, supplemented by the Current Population Survey. Now, remember, the Current Population Survey is to be challenged, just FYI, which they acknowledge in here as well. We all know the CPS has a lot of issues there. Anyway, this Survey of Consumer Finances is quite good. To document changes in incomes headed by seniors aged 65 and older, and the sources of these changes from 1982 to 2018. Our analysis documents a substantial and broad-based growth in senior household incomes that far outpace growth among younger households. The strong income growth occurs across the senior household income distribution among all age subgroups, household types, and education levels. So again, we have a strong, substantial, and broad-based growth in senior household incomes that far outpace income growth among younger households. Now, we'll get to that about younger households. Right now, we're just talking about seniors. Seniors are the retirees. Remember, retirees run out of money. You need $1 million to NASA. No, don't be even thinking about that, doggy. There we go. Like a big old bear right here. Look at that bear in the big blue house. Look at him. So cute. So lonely, so lonely. All right, so we're going to keep going down here, right here. The starting year of analysis, 1982, coincides with major changes in federal retirement policies. In 1982, the modern method of determining Social Security benefits became fully effective. Final regulations, I love you too, Final regulations governing newly created employer-sponsored 401k plans are issued, and IRAs, which were created in 1974, were still in their infancy, but were growing rapidly. Additional policy changes in each of these retirement income vehicles occurred throughout the ensuing years. IRA and 401k contributions were significantly expanded, and as a result, entire defined contribution plan industry grew to maturity. Meanwhile, Social Security's full retirement age was increased, and the earnings test was repealed for people reaching their full retirement age. Remember, in the days of Social Security, and I talked about this in the book I'm almost done reading now, but I've talked about other videos. Once you were retired, you were retired. If you wanted Social Security, you could not work. You could not work. Why? Because there's so much unemployment back then that if you were going to take Social Security, you couldn't work. If you did work, they're going to take away your Social Security benefits. It's one or the other. Retire, take Social Security, or continue to work and don't get Social Security. One of those two things. That's what it was. All these people say, oh, they want to keep a chick in every pot. It had nothing to do with that. I mean, a little bit, but it had mostly to do with, I just can't stop kissing the guy. Yes, sir. I am so tasty. How dare you? No more dog pictures, Josh. I don't understand. The dogs. So Social Security, the point of Social Security and pension, frankly, were to get older people off the payrolls. And what this is, older, inefficient people who are not really pulling their weight, supposedly. That's what the employer has said. But they said, we don't want to just let these people go. where are they going to go to? They got no money, right? There's no savings back then. And so we're going to create these pensions and Social Security to get the older people off so we can have the younger people coming on. Oh, Pompeo sucks, dude. No Pompeo. No Pompeo. No siree Bob. No. We don't need another internationalist, dude. We need a nationalist. Just a fact. Ideally, a Christian nationalist. But, Trump is the best we got right now. Ideally, be a Christian nationalist, for sure. But, no, Pence is not a Christian nationalist. No. But he loves Jesus. Yeah, he's an internationalist. All right. Anyway, so remember, the earnings test was repealed, right? Look at that, 1982, for persons claiming benefits at full retirement age. Before, you could not, there was an earnings test for everybody. All right. From 1982 to 2018, the median inflation adjustment income of households headed by a person 65 or older, senior citizens, increased by 85%. The median inflation adjusted income of households headed by a person 65 years or older increased by 85%. You guys hearing that? Now I'm just going to scroll all the way down here. Let me see if I can't find. Let's go to 71. Should be a blink. Watch this. Hold on a second. Go down. So lonely. Consumer Expenditure Survey from 1984 to 2018 showed the real mean average. Again, the average is always skewed to the outliers, the higher ends. Expenditures rose by 71%. Right? Consumer Expenditure Survey said the spending rose by 71%. Interesting. Non-senior consumer units only experienced an increase of 28% over the same period. Yet seniors increased 84%. And that's, seniors being 75 or older. So basically the seniors, their income increased and their spending increased. And yet, we've shown you many times before, the vast, vast, vast majority are doing just fine. I'm going to prove it here. Watch. Go back to page 3. The increase in senior income far outstrips the increase among younger households. The median income among senior households rose nearly 4 times faster than the median income among households headed by people under 65. Senior incomes have always been less than non-senior incomes, but seniors have been rapidly catching up. In fact, after accounting for the smaller size of senior households and their lower tax burden, median senior income is now equal to that of non-seniors. In 1982, only 1 in every 3 senior citizens senior households had incomes that would place them in the middle 50% of the U.S. 1 in 3. 33% of senior citizens had income that put them in 50% in the middle class. In 2018, nearly half of seniors were in the middle class. Do you hear that? Was 33% were in the middle class. In 2018, 50% of senior citizens were in the middle class. Can't be in the middle class if you're going bankrupt. It's just fact. But what causes bankruptcy is debt. As I've shown you in my book, Relax or Retire, what our senior citizens have taken on debt, or they're paying off debt. Their debts are paid off. The primary driver of senior household income growth are income from private retirement plans and employment earnings. We're going to talk about employment earnings here in just a second. Because a lot of people say, yeah, but they had to go back to work. I'm going to show you why you can fall for that. Don't. The primary driver of household income growth are from private retirement plans and employment earnings. Among all senior households, retirement plan income more than quadrupled. Hear that? Retirement plan income more than quadrupled from 1982 to 2018. Labor earnings more than doubled over that same time, which together account for 60% of the increase in senior household income over that period. Even though Social Security, which is also adjusted for inflation, grew by 66%, the growth accounts for only 18% of the senior household increase. So I want to point some out. Retirement plan income more than quadrupled, labor earnings more than doubled. Let's look at labor earnings, and we're going to go back to what we had up here. The earnings test was repealed for persons claiming benefits at full retirement age. You before were penalized. All right, for working and taking Social Security. Normal retirement age was 65 back then. So let's say you like your job, but you're like, man, I don't want to sacrifice Social Security, so I guess I'm going to quit. But let's say you liked your job. Let's say you were good at it. Let's say you liked your friends. Let's say you freaking, you're like Fever Flav and you go both ways. You're like, I got people on both sides that can, shark up with it, if you know what I'm saying. Well, you're kind of forced to quit. You're forced to quit because you're like, I don't want to sacrifice Social Security. But when they got rid of that, I'm going to show you that people said no. More and more people said, I'm going to stay at work. Because they enjoyed it. Now, some stayed at work or went to work because they said, I need the money. But I'm going to show you why that's not even an issue. Let's keep going. The income growth findings will be unsurprising to, this is what pisses me off. The income growth findings will be unsurprising to scholars familiar with the literature on the income of seniors. Similar trends have been documented by NBER, National Bureau of Economic Research, Boston University, University of Michigan, Social Security Administration, the Bureau of the Census, the American Enterprise Institute, and other work published in the Social Security Bulletin. For these scholars, the results reported here are updates to early work and should bolster confidence in previously identified trends. So we know this. The income growth findings, the senior citizens growth has been going on this trajectory for years. Everybody knows it. So what is the freaking negativity? It's based on the idea that you're going to run out of money, and yet your income has been growing and growing and growing at a huge pace relative to workers. Now, a different story should be said about how workers are not growing as much. We can talk about that. But this is for retirees. Your incomes have been growing and growing and growing much more rapidly than they are for employees. Everybody knows this. And it's been growing more than your consumption has to. Everybody knows this. So what the hell? You know what it is? It's all around healthcare. They all say, oh, you're healthcare. It's always about healthcare because healthcare is a big unknown, man. It 100% is. It's the boogeyman outside. I was just reading, what was the book I was reading? There's a lady from Maine, Mary Ellen Chase, writing a book called Silas Crockett, what I just got done reading. It was about the Maine maritime industry, from basically the ships where the sailing into the steamships and whatnot. And one of the guys says, he said something's perfect. The reality is a whole lot less scary than our thoughts about it, something like that. And I read it at night, and I didn't take notes of it, but something like that. So that's so true. We're so much more scared of what could happen than what actually happens. It's weird, man. And I tell you, man, the media knows that. Satanists know that. Everyone knows that. It said they could come and get you, like what I hear now. If we don't stop Putin, we'll all be dying in nuclear horror. The whole thing's so stupid, man. If we don't stop Hamas, we'll all be dying here. I'm like, oh gosh. It's like they always say this crap. And they always have one tiny example. Say, look at this. I said, well, who's the people who theoretically dropped atomic bombs? It wasn't Putin, it wasn't Hamas. It was us on innocent Japanese. And yet the irony of it all is Hiroshima and Nagasaki weren't even even close to as devastated as I think it's like the 18th. I think Hiroshima was like the 18th most devastated Japanese city. Tokyo was just leveled, man, without any freaking nuclear bombs. You know what I'm saying? But everyone's scared crapless about nuclear bombs. It's like, where's the evidence of that? But anyway, and that's what I think it is. It's like what you don't know scares you more than the reality. It really, really does. And as such, Bath Ironworks in Maine. The Bath, it was these guys were, it was actually very interesting because the old sailors, this is a fiction, but the way this lady wrote it, because she was raised in Maine and on the water up there, probably in Belfast or something like that. But anyways, interesting. She just has a dramatic flair for describing the surroundings and stuff. It's just fantastic. And her knowledge of shipbuilding. She wrote a lot of stuff on Christianity too, Mary Ellen Chase. And it's just her knowledge of shipbuilding, the shipping industry for a woman from she's probably 1920s or something like that. It's, I think that she had written that book in 1920, maybe 1930. It's amazing, man. It's amazing. Remember, was it James Watt? Was he the founder of the steam engine? I think it was, right? Well, let's keep going. So much positive stuff. Oh, but Josh, you don't see the big picture. Oh, I see the big picture, and the big picture is you're a sucker for the negativity. All right, let's keep going. The Survey of Consumer Finances is a triennial survey sponsored by the Federal Reserve, conducted on a moderately sized sample of U.S. households. We use data from 1983 to 2019 surveys, which provide annual income estimates for 1982 to 2018. Again, they updated it, but the link they had to their survey, it was a broken link, so I can't read that. But they did update that Wall Street Journal article I put in there, but again, it didn't work, so I had to find the most recent one. The survey's detailed information on income and assets make it particularly well suited to study senior citizens. It's a survey for consumer finances, the SCF. Indeed, the survey has been referred to as a gold standard, a real gold standard, unlike what they say in random control test. This is a real gold standard, the RCTs. I hope you found that as funny as I did. This is the gold standard random control test. Now, if you already know what you're going to report, okay. Let's see. I'm going to go show you something here. This is pretty interesting. Demographic characteristics of senior households. In 1983, 52% were married, 39% were single women, 9% were single men. In 2019, if Carl was here, MCOW, was it MCOW or something like that? MCOW, is that what it's called? We got 49% were married, 35% were single female, and 16% were single male. So MCOW, whatever the hell that's called, is right here. So single female dropped by 4%. MCOWs went up by 6-7% or something like that. And of course, this just makes more Democratic voters right there. Single women are the biggest Democratic voter there is. Here we go. I just thought that was interesting. There we go. But now we got high school or less. It went from 77%, high school or less in 1983, 77% to 37%. Some college went from 12 to 26%, and bachelor's or higher went from 11 to 37%. So it's even interesting. Bachelor's degree is still only basically a third of the population. I thought it was, come and sit with me again here, baby. You gonna sit right there? You don't want to sit back with your dad? You want to come back up here? You gonna sit like that? Making your bed? Okay. All right, I got you. Let's keep going. The income figures in all financial numbers hereafter are expressed in constant $2020, all right? All adjusted for inflation. The median income of senior households shows substantial growth that begins possibly as early as the mid-1990s or as late as 2000, when year-to-year differences first became statistically significant. So we didn't get much increase in median income until about the 90s. Interesting. I wonder why. Over the entire period from 1982 to 2018, median senior household income increased by a substantial and statistically significant 85%. Meanwhile, median income of non-senior citizens increased relatively constant, rising only by 23% higher than the 1982, and that's adjusted for inflation. So adjusted with inflation, you made 23% more. You made 23% more adjusted for inflation from 1982 to 2018. If you're a senior, 85% more adjusted for inflation. But the bulk of that increase as a senior was in from mid-1990s. No, we're not doing that. Mid-1990s and on. All right, we'll go into why here in just a second. Here you go. The median income, you can see right here. This is in 2020 dollars. Here's seniors. Here we are in 2020 dollars. We're about $25,000 a year. Here's non-seniors, about $50,000 a year. About $50,000 a year. So they're basically making $2 for every $1 seniors made. So non-seniors making 2, seniors making 1. Look here now, in $2020. So you can see they rose from $50,000 to about 65,000. Here they rose from 25,000 to roughly 50,000, about 50,000 or so. So you can see the seniors, the retirees have increased substantially relative to non-seniors. And again, that's adjusted for inflation. And the ratio of non-senior or senior to non-senior income. So here we're at 45%. So seniors made 45 cents on the dollar of income compared to non-seniors. Here we go. In 2018, they made about 75 cents on the dollar. Pretty interesting. Yes, it is. So let's keep going down. There is some concern that the personal consumption expenditure may not accurately reflect changes in the cost of living among seniors because healthcare expenses comprise a larger share of their household budgets than these expenses do in the typical U.S. household budget. Okay. As a check, we recomputed the growth in inflation-adjusted income among senior households. See, this doesn't make any sense either because we're not looking at expenses. That's what the Consumer Expenditure Survey does. Here we're looking at income. So there's some concern that the personal consumption expenditures may not accurately reflect changes in the cost of living. They're trying to say the COLA will be higher because healthcare expenses are reflected more for older people than they are for younger people. Okay, but that's still expenditures. But let's keep going. As a check, we recomputed the growth in inflation-adjusted income among senior citizens using CPIE. Who's talked about CPIE? It'd be the book I told you, Relax and Retire. Relax and Retire. We talk about the difference between CPIE, CPIU, and CPIW. CPIE uses more healthcare expense. In fact, they double the amount of consumption that you spend on healthcare for seniors relative to CPIU and CPIW. All right, so when you're looking at CPIE, it's a doubling of healthcare expense. It's actually an increase in housing costs too, which is just odd. All right, let's see. The change in price indices does not materially affect our conclusion about senior income growth. So regardless of what we're using for our inflationary scale, CPIU, CPIW, CPIE, it doesn't materially affect it at all. Again, it's kind of odd because that's expenditures, but that's okay. On average, senior households are about 40% smaller than non-senior households over the years covered by the Survey of Consumer Finance. So senior citizens' households are smaller by 40% than non-senior citizens' households. Shocking. So we got 6 people in my household. When everyone's out, we'll have 2. So we'll have dropped our household percentage by 75%. All right, from 6 to 2, that's a 75% decrease, which means I have 75% less mouths to feed, less clothes to buy. In general, shocking. In general, senior household income is subject to lower taxes than non-senior household income. Over 80% of all non-senior household income consists of labor earnings, including self-employment income, which is generally subject to both income and payroll tax. In contrast, only about 25% of senior income consists of employment income. All right, so 80%, if you're working, is subject to both FICA and income tax. When you're old retiree, only 25% is, because they're still saying 25% of your income comes from earnings on the average. More than 1/3 of senior household income is from Social Security, dividends, and capital gains. Social Security, dividends, and capital gains are all what? Preferential treated tax-wise. All right? Social Security, dividends, and capital gains. If that is the only income you made, the vast majority would be tax-free. I mean, if you made $1 million in capital gain, it won't be, but still. All right. Only a portion of Social Security benefits are subject to taxes. Dividends and capital gains are often taxed at lower rates than ordinary income. Not often, all the time. Keep going down. What are you chomping on, Chompy? Right here. I thought this was pretty interesting. Income at various percentiles for seniors and non-seniors in 2020 dollars. In 2020 dollars, in 1982, seniors made $13,000 in 2020 dollars, in the 25th percentile. So the lowest quarter, lowest percentile of income. Fast forward to 2018, they almost doubled that amount of money. In fact, it grew by 94%. Look at that. Look at that. It grew by 94%. Non-seniors grew from 29,000 to 33,000. Only a 13% growth But that is adjusted for inflation. So that's 13% on top of inflation, just FYI. The median, again, seniors almost doubled their money, went from 25 to 47,000 and 85% growth. Non-seniors went from 51 to 63,000, only a 23% growth. Huh. What could have possibly caused the wages to not quite stagnate, but keep up with inflation, but just barely? What could possibly? Oh, massive immigration, without question. Immigration has been the biggest scam ever, 100%. Look, if you're here, I love you. I mean, my grandparents, great grandparents immigrated. I got no qualm with immigrants as a person, but the immigration as a whole has been nothing but to provide cheap labor for the corporations that want more profits. And that has been reflected in your price to earnings and your stock price, without question. Labor is the number one cost of a company. You eliminate, reduce drastically labor costs, and guess what? You have more profits. You have higher stock prices. That's just a fact. Just a fact. So what's the biggest cause for labor? Well, competition for labor. More competition, the less price corporations have to pay. Oh, you okay? Here's the rich people, 75th percentile. Seniors made $46,000 then, and $89,000 now, a 93% increase after inflation. The executives, look at this. The poor people only increased by 13% after inflation for working people. Middle income people increased by 23% after inflation. Executives increased by 43% after inflation. Yeah. The Democrats are really concerned about the working class. The substantial, absolute, and relative growth of senior income has also been widespread across income distributions. 94% increase for seniors, 85% increase for the poor people, 85% increase for the middle class, 93% increase after inflation for rich people. As we noted earlier, the median income of all seniors' households grew by 85%, or about 4 times faster than the growth of non-senior households. We all got rooked, dude. Look at all the middle right here. Look at this. 50% of seniors are now in the middle class. 50%. 20% of seniors are now in the top 25%. So the amount of seniors that are now in the middle, they went from 60%, were in the lowest 25%, to only 30%. So basically a halving of the poor people for seniors. The rich people increased by more than double. So rich people for seniors more than doubled. Poor people for seniors were divided by half. And then the middle class went 35 to 50%. And what's that? I don't even know what that increase is. It's insane. The movement of the poorest seniors has been largely into the middle class. Since 2009, at least 40% of seniors have had incomes that place them in the middle 50% of all non-seniors. If the middle of the non-senior income distribution constitutes Americans' middle class, then most seniors are now solidly members of the middle class and have been so for nearly a decade. We got rich seniors, there's middle class, we got middle class. Look at that. Crazy, man. Crazy. 50% of seniors are middle class or above. Isn't that nuts? Well, no, be this one right here. Excuse me. Be this one right here. 70% of seniors are middle class and above. 70% of seniors are. Are you all guys hitting that? How many people? Only down to 81. Why is everybody dropping off? 70% of seniors are middle class and above. But they're running out of money. It's all fake. Hey, Marty. Hey, Marty, you still on Facebook over there? Okay. It's all fake. All fake. Watch this. This is the right here. Source of income among all seniors in 2020 dollars from 1982, retirement income went from about $5,000 to $20,000. That's a quadrupling. Social Security went from about $15,000 to about $22,000. Not a quadruple. Non-retirement plan income, this is IRAs and non-IRAs and whatnot, brokerage accounts, And it went from about 15,000 to roughly 25,000. And then earnings right here for seniors, they were actually able to increase it by about more than doubling, but the retirement income. The 401k is evil. Look at that. Went from basically 5,000 to friggin' $21,000. The 401k is evil. We should go back to the pensions. Actually, this does include pension income too, by the way. I'm not gonna lie to you, but it's interesting when you actually look at retirement accounts as a whole, because less and less pensions are happening. More and more people have retirement accounts. Retirement income has been going through the roof, and as such, senior income has been going through the roof too. Now, let me just kind of put a side note here. From 1982 to basically now, the markets have been just rip roaring. Yeah, we did have the lost decade of 2000, the aughts, but it just rip roared after that. So basically, these are data sets from 1982 to 2018. The market just experienced a phenomenal growth. Going forward, I wouldn't expect that. And as such, I would not expect to see a quadrupling of your retirement income. Old people, old people, these are retirees. These aren't old people, just people 65 and older. I just wouldn't expect that at all. So if you think this is going to be continuing on like this, I don't think so. It could, I don't know, but I don't think it's going to be. I think it's going to level off more. And as such, there won't, and don't forget the explosion of the 401k, the explosion of IRAs all happened in 1974 with ERISA, and finally solidifying in the 1980s. The principal does decline in spending power over time. However, I never got the idea of living off dividends. Seems no different than other ways of generating income from a portfolio. So let's keep going here. And we'll be done. Oh, wow. What are you chomping on? Chomping. Oh, boy. No. Why'd you do that? No, hey, Finn. No, don't give me that look. No. Finn, come here. Uppy. Come say hi. Come give me a kiss. Where'd that toy go? These aren't old people, just retirees. This freaking pulverizer. Don't listen, pulverizer. You still think Pink Floyd's a cat's meow. So, I mean, just come on. Pulverizer. Finn. Pay no mind to that guy. Pay no mind to pulverizer. Only thing he's pulverized is his head, his brain with all this dope he smoked. He's like, good time rock and roll, man. Let's listen to Pink Floyd and get high. Yeah, dude. Let's listen to Pink Floyd and get high. I'm going to pulverize my brain cells. Oh, they've been pulverized. Yeah. Pulverizer never pulverized an SAT, that's for sure, other than smashing it because he only got you get 400 points for signing your name. So pulverizer signed his name, and then he couldn't get any of their answers right. So he just started beating, hammering it like this, pulverizing it. His teacher said, "What are you doing?" He goes, "I can't take it. I'm pulverizing my SAT." And so the teacher said, "Well, that's your name now, pulverizer." Bah, me mad. SAT don't work for me. Meh. That's how he got the name pulverizer. Only thing he pulverizes. Oh, only thing pulverizer does is pulverize his chat. It's all good until pulverizer showed up. Get high and retire. Time for pulverizer masterclass. Yes. Oh my goodness. 100%. It's time for. You been hanging around Stoner Pablo? Yes. Pulverizer and Pablo listen to Pink Floyd. I bet Pulverizer's missing a tooth right there. I think he's got a tooth missing right there. He's like, it's just like Pablo, him and Pablo. It's not just smoking dope either. What, he smoked meth? Is that what you do? I bet they're smoking meth. I bet Pulverizer sneaks Pablo out at night and they get stoned together, listen to Pink Floyd. That's why Pablo sleeps all during the day. He comes back, he's like, oh, man, just give me. And that's why Pablo's always hungry all the time, too. Freaking Pulverizer. We're on to you, Pulverizer. Freaking. Can you imagine? I bet, too, just real quick. I bet Pablo and Pulverizer were freaking thinking they could cheat on the SAT. You know what I'm saying? Pablo's clean. I bet it was a great place. I bet they're cheating on the SAT. You know what happened? Pablo outsmarted Pulverizer. Pablo said, rough, and Pulverizer. Really, Pablo? 2 barks for a B, 1 bark for A, and Pablo barked twice every single time. And Pulverizer just went B all the way down. And he was so stoned, he even recognized that doesn't make any sense. B. I bet that's what happened. Pulverizer. That's why I never got to college. Oh boy. But as I say that, oh, now what are you getting, buddy? Oh boy. All right, so let's keep going. I would be done with this. Pulverizer. Oh boy. Oh boy. I was going to show you guys something here. Oh, right here. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So here's your mean income. And again, $20. Retirement income went from $1,200 to $5,000. It was 8% of your share in 1982. It was 19% of your share in 2018. Social Security actually dropped from 73% to 63% of your share. And this is for the lower half of, remember how Social Security, you say, Social Security, 90% of poor people rely solely on Social Security. They used to say that on the Social Security system, on Social Security reports, on the Social Security bulletin, something like that. It was like, 60% of people rely, 90% of their income is on Social Security. It's all a lie. It's all a lie. It's faulty numbers, just like faulty numbers with Pfizer. It's the same thing. It's 73%. This is for the lower half. 73% of people's income was Social Security in 1982. It's only 63% now. Social Security grew by 58% from 1982 to 2018. This is after inflation. So let me throw a question out there. After inflation, Social Security's income for even the lower half grew by 58%. For the upper half, it grew by 71%. So again, Social Security's growth, I'm hoping does General Flynn. Man, that's my man, General Flynn. Social Security. So the question, why did Social Security's income grow more than the rate of inflation using CPI? Why? Think about this for just a second. I think this is a huge thing to understand. So the growth of Social Security for even the poorer people was still 58% above the rate of inflation, and 71% for the higher earning income people above the rate of inflation. Why? Think about that. It's very, very interesting. Anyone want to take a guess? Because this are all the doomsdayers. Trump wouldn't win the Democratic nomination. Brad, crazy. They hate that guy. So let's see what we got. See if we got any brain people here. Probably don't. Probably no one. Jill's a mathematician. I bet she doesn't get it. Denise, how you doing? Oh, it was the other Denise, by the way. The other Denise. Is the other Denise still here? Yeah, what Brad is. Yeah, well, he just said you can retire. Ted, I mean, literally just said you can retire in Ohio and get high. So Brad, I think Brad was a teacher, if memory serves. Yeah. So Brad was probably probably going to class in a very cloudy state, if you know what I'm saying. So think about this on Social Security. Anyone going to answer this? I lost a policy. All right, so I'm going to tell you. The wages have increased relative to CPI, which you already showed. And I showed the median income, even for right here. Oh, wait, it was up here. Right there. No, it was up here. Right here. Oh, man. Where was it? Right here. The median income for the bottom 25th, the median, and 43rd percentile. Is this median or is it? Yeah, it's not median. It's 25th percentile, median, and 75th percentile. The wages increased by 43% more than Social Security, than CPI, 23% more than CPI, 13% more than CPI, which means you had more income to be taxed for Social Security, which meant your Social Security, your AIME, your average index monthly earnings, was higher because your wages grew higher than the rate of inflation. So that's why. That's why social and I don't think people get this. Dude, you are just all over the place, man. So your Social Security benefit. Actually, I want to show you this. No, don't go. I did that last time. No. All right. Your Social Security benefit right here increased by 58% above inflation because your income increased. You're making more money above the rate of inflation, which increases your AIME, which ultimately increases your PIA. If you need a tutorial on that, I got a million videos. I'm not going to do it here. But that gets overlooked. And when I hear people, Social Security hasn't kept up with the rate of inflation, it's such a stupid thing to say. It's just dumb. It's a dumb thing to say. Now, you can say Social Security hasn't kept up with something, but you can't say the rate of inflation. It certainly has, 100%. Interestingly enough, too, is check this out. The percent of seniors, retirees, in 1982, 31% of all income for retirees was from Social Security. In 1997, 25% was from Social Security. In 2018, only 24%. So sources of income among all retirees, less than a quarter in 2018, whereas in 1982 is 31%. Retirement income has doubled. Retirement income has doubled. Investment income has dropped, and that's because interest rates are so far down. But employment income has stayed relatively flat. So we've had a decrease in Social Security, a decrease in investment income, but a significant increase in retirement income because of markets. And again, investment income would consist of CDs and whatnot. It's because the stock market has done so well from 1982 to 2018. And you just can't look, and the growth of this from 1982, 332% increase in growth in retirement income. It's just as fantastic. Anyway, I think that's pretty much all I had on this guy here. I had a couple things down below. I did have some, yeah. Income for retirement plans is the fastest rising because it started so low and largest contributor to senior household income growth. Both defined benefit and defined contributions contributed substantially to the more than fourfold increase in retirement plan income between 1982 and 2018. Although income from defined contribution plans is rapidly growing share of the total, income from defined benefit remains the primary source of retirement plan income for now. All right. As noted earlier, 401k plans were in the infancy in 1982, so there wasn't any retirement plan income from 401ks really until about the mid-90s. And IRAs were only 7 years old. And that year, only 11% of seniors were enrolled in either type of defined contribution plan. All right. Since then, participation among seniors in defined contribution plans has quadrupled. Meanwhile, enrollment among seniors in defined benefit plans ceased growing in 1989. And since 2019, the enrollment growth in defined contribution plans, which has slowed considerably, has offset the slight decline in defined benefit plan enrollment. So again, from 1989 on, there has been no increase. There's been a decrease in pension plans. That's just all there is to it. And yet the defined contribution plan, the 401k, has more than picked it up. And the markets show that. I mean, it's the reason the markets have done so much better. One of the reasons is because you got so much more money being put in there. Right here. So here we see, look at this. Here's your income from defined contributions plans. In 1982 is about 2,500. In 2018 is 15,000. I mean, I don't even know what that is. That's a 500% increase, something like that. Here's your income increase in defined benefit plans. In 1982 is about 10,000. Now it's about 22,000, something like that. It's a 100% increase. That's a 500% increase. And you can see the trajectory here is just going to kind of, it's going to level off. Here's just going to keep going up and up and up. Asset balances and defined contribution plans provide another dimension of substantial growth in defined contribution plan among seniors. In 2019, the average defined contribution plan balance among all senior households was 26 times its level in 1983. The average defined contribution plan in 2019 was 26 times what it was in 1903, which only makes sense because there weren't that many people who had a contribution plan back then. But among plan participants who had plans in 1982 through 2019, it was still 6 times higher. But the 401k is horrible. It's the worst retirement plan ever. That's so stupid. I think that's all I got on this. Oh, right here, real interest rates. Look at this. Real interest rate, zoops, and the 2022 dollars, zoops. 2022 dollars went from right there, 1988, from 9,000 down to 3,000. It would drop by 66%. All the while, real interest rates dropped from 8 to freaking 2.5. Crazy. That had a big effect on investment growth. We report that the average inflation-adjusted Social Security income among seniors increased by 66%. The average inflation-adjusted. Since the share of the households that receive Social Security benefits is roughly the same in 2018 as it was in 1982, the average benefit level rose by a similar amount, about 67%. Well, not out of line with the increase contemplated by the 1977 Social Security law that established a modern monthly benefit schedule, the increase is higher. And they don't say why, but the why is because people are making more money. The law was designed to ensure that Social Security benefits payable at the program's normal retirement age would increase over time with the growth in workers' earnings. From 1982, the Social Security Administration's wage index rose by 54%, which would be what you'd expect your Social Security benefit to grow by. But it grew by more, 67%, because wages went above that, the CPI. People were making more money. So remember, average wage index is the increase of growth of wages, not the actual dollar amount, just the increase. But people were making more money, being subject to more tax, and thus they had a higher Social Security benefit. These increases account for all the higher growth in the average benefit of married couples relative to households headed by singles. So basically, if you're married, you benefited a lot. All right. That's pretty much all I got on that. I'm done. I'll probably do another video just on that by itself tomorrow, or probably not tomorrow on it. Denise is going night nights again. Oh boy, always going night nights. This is where I'm going crazy thinking about provisional income not subject to taxation, not being indexed to inflation. 100%. Just because you have a mutual fund, Jill, and your mutual fund has capital gains in it. So tell your friend, tell your friend Carol that she has a big mutual fund and had a big capital gain distribution. So even if she didn't sell it, she has a mutual fund that has a capital gain. That's what happened there. And if you stick around for my course, which I'm going to finish up in December, we're going to go into that heavily. I got a big capital gain, but I didn't sell anything. You got a mutual fund that has a capital gain for sure. Well, all right, good night, Denise. Appreciate you being here. Yeah, thanks, Mike. All right. That's all I got. Any other thoughts, questions, comments? I just thought that was another great article that no one wants to talk about. The numbers are there. Boston College knows it. New School knows it. Market Watch knows it. Everyone knows this, man. Everybody knows this. But no. Academics know it. Journalists don't, because journalists just aren't smart people. I mean, just come on. They're just, all they do is they do press releases, guides as articles for academics. That's all they do. They did that for Pfizer. They did it for physicists. They did it for NASA. They don't ask questions. They just do what they're told. I mean, even like I said, the guy for the Obama's guy, I forgot his name off the top of my head. What the hell was that guy's name? He said journalists are basically 27-year-old know-nothings. They do what we tell them to do. They write what we tell them to write. I forgot the guy's name. What the hell was that guy's name, man? This is National Security Advisor. I forgot. But he said, no, they're 27-year-old know-nothings. Then he had to apologize. For financial, 100%, man. You got Chuck B. For financial advisor, a high-priced idiot. In my opinion, you would have a fit. My blood boiling and not my money. Yeah. Just she got mutual funds that have a lot of unrealized capital gains in there. And sadly, I wonder when he bought those funds. Yeah, I've got that email, got that video sent to me a number of times, Dave Ramsey. I just when I saw that, I think Ted, did you send that to me? I think Ted sent that to me, maybe not. But anyway, when I got that, I said, I can't believe because he did this in 2018. And this is when I first started my YouTube channel. I had this big old, show about sequence of return risk. I said, this is basically, David, what are you talking about? You're ruining your franchise with all the good stuff you do, because he does a lot of good, but this is idiotic. And I'll never forget people saying he wasn't saying you could take 8% off. I said he was. And he said it literally was. And then he did the video I saw. And I remember whoever sent that, Ben Rose, that's what it was, right on, man. Ben Rose. Yeah. I thought I was gonna say Brad, but when he yeah, it's weird, man. And I said, and I remember people on my own YouTube channel said, he said it a long time ago, blah, 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 blah. And then he just come out with this new video. I said, that's gotta be an old one, right? I looked, I said, no, it's just like the other day. I don't know. It's like, I think, I hate to say it, I hope this never happens to me. I think when he gets such a a big enough mic, you think you're all that in a bag of chips. And no, we're not doing Finn, drop it right now. Good boy. I think you get proud. I do, and I think you can't be. And I hope I'm not like that. I mean, I can come across as cocky. I'm not a very cocky guy, believe it or not. When it comes to this stuff, I do get cocky because I read a lot, and I believe it or not, I don't go out on a ledge without having some strength underneath me, if that makes sense. I'm very particular of being made a fool, and I won't go out on a ledge rarely without having. I have done a couple times throughout my life, and usually when I do that, I look like a fool. He never does. Ted mention sequence of return risk. Yeah. So the issue, Jill, she would have to contend with is when did she buy that fund? So this won't be quite the same, but it's buying the dividend. When you buy a dividend right before its X date, I'll probably have to do it's come around time to do another video on this. I should do it every year. Don't buy the dividends, what's called. So if you have a brokerage account, you don't want to buy a fund. You don't want to buy a fund right before it pays a dividend in a taxable account, because you're buying a taxable event. That's all there is to it. And people say, yeah, but I'm getting more shares. Yeah, but you're basically paying taxes. It's not, just don't do that. You wait till it goes X date, X dividend date, and so that way you can buy it after the share price drop because it paid the dividend. So there's people try every which way to say, I'm going to buy the dividend and I'll get more shares. It's not, you got to look at your net returns after tax. Anyway, long story short. And an IRA doesn't matter. A Roth IRA doesn't matter. So brokerage account does. So when you're buying a mutual fund with significant unrealized capital gains, and a lot of funds will give you proposed distribution schedule. Like I bet if you go on Vanguard right now, you'll see that say, hey, this fund is going to get ready to give out a 14% capital distribution. That's capital gains you got to pay for. If you just bought the fund, you're buying those capital gains, even though you weren't in the fund to receive the growth of those portfolios. You're only in the fund to pay the tax on it. I know I'm not making sense. I have to do a whiteboard thing here, but you bought it at 100, and now you're going to pay tax on $15 per 100 because of the growth of the portfolio for other people who have been in the fund for a long time has grown from 50 to 100. But you didn't capture that 50 to 100. You only captured, freaking nothing essentially. That's called, they don't really call it buying the capital gain, but it's the same concept. You don't want to buy a taxable event. And that's what a lot of people do. So if Carol, I'm just picking on her because that's the only friend that I know of yours, Jill. If Carol bought this mutual fund this year, that's a horrific mistake. Or a guy didn't look to see what the unrealized capital gain were. Undistributed capital gain, unrealized capital gain is all the same thing. Yeah, 100%. Hey, I couldn't. Ted's getting it 100%, man. And American Funds is probably Ed Jones' guy. American Funds has huge unrealized capital gains because they're good fund companies. They made a lot of money. But that's Ted said on the point. This is when you say, I'm not buying the mutual funds. I'm buying the ETF. Vanguard ETFs jump out at me because there is no capital gains there. And this is not disputable. How can I say this? Ignorance of the this is one of those tough ones here. The broker I don't know when she bought these funds. She might have been in there for many years to ride that capital gain. Then that's good. I mean, she made money. If she just recently bought the funds this year or last, and knowing full well there's going to be a large capital gain distribution, I would suggest that that would be an issue for the guy not knowing. And I'd actually suggest that'd be surprising that their compliance department didn't look into that a little bit deeper, because that's especially if he moved her from one fund company to another fund company. There's a lot of shenanigans can go on there. I'm not indicting this guy. I have no clue what's going on. I don't even know when the funds are purchased. If it's new money into a fund, you can't really blame him, because he's got to put the money someplace. Because I like American funds. Obviously, he said I don't do taxes. I don't call myself a tax consultant, but I hate to say, if you're calling yourself a financial advisor, if you're calling yourself a wealth manager, a financial planner, you kind of are. This is my thing about where if you're Ed Jones used to be investment consultants, or maybe it was A.G. Edwards. I think Ed Jones used to be the same thing. I think a long time it was stock. I can't remember. But if you're going to call yourself a financial advisor, you can't then turn around and say, I only advise on investments. Then you should just call yourself an investment advisor. I'd never understood why this is such problematic. Just call yourself an investment advisor. No big deal. Or investment counselor. But you shouldn't call yourself a financial advisor if you're going to turn around and feign ignorance about the tax stuff, especially on your mutual funds. You got to know how this stuff works. Hell, Series 7 covers this stuff if memory serves. I'm sure it does. This isn't, you don't have to be a CFP to know this stuff. Hell, I bet a lot of CFPs don't even know it. Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that. That's what some people say, Brad. Taking 8% and increasing with inflation. I don't know. I remember I watched that video a few years back, and I got a different take. I might be wrong. It's been a long time, but I'd like to see where he says that we're talking a straight 8%. If he's talking straight 8%, that's kind of like my reverse RMDs. I got no qualm with that. I don't think that's what he's saying. Because he's using it in the context of a 12%. At least the way I didn't watch this last video. I don't care, but in 2017 or 18, when I saw that video, he was using in context, you're getting 12% a year. If you take 8% a year, you're still putting 4% in your capital. And that's not good. Maybe he's changed his tune on that since, but that's not good, man. And I saw on LinkedIn, I follow a bunch of financial guys, and I saw them basically Monte Carlo this, using it adjusted for inflation. Now, I look, man, I don't think you should. You're not spending our money and increasing anyway. So if he's saying it's an 8% flat, I got no qualm with that, none whatsoever. But if he's saying it in the context of you're getting 12%, you're adding 4% per year to capital, which was my understanding is what he did last time, then that's just stupid. If he's saying if you got $1 million, take 80,000 a year for the rest of your life, I don't have any qualm. I mean, I think that might be a little bit aggressive, but in of itself, I don't have a huge qualm with that. But if he's saying just take 8% a year off your portfolio, no one would argue that you're going to run out of money then. But now your $1 million portfolio in year 3 in 2003 was worth 45,000, friggin' $45,000 with distribution, $450,000 with distribution. Your $80,000 a year at that stage is significantly higher than what it initially was. And if you're only taking 8% out, you're taking 32,000 out as opposed to 80,000. Either way, you're screwed, man. You're screwed because your income is well below what you initially started to, or you're screwed because you're taking 80,000 out on a flat amount, and now your $80,000 is coming out on a $450,000 portfolio. Either way, man, if you had 80,000 a year at 8% and you're not adjusting with inflation, and the argument again is that you're getting 12% a year. That 12% a year does not it doesn't consider standard sequence of risks. You can't say 12% a year and turn around and say, if you're going to say 12% a year, that has nothing to do with 8% unless you're completely avoiding standard sequence of return risk. because that 12% a year assumes that it can support that 8% a year. But sequence of return risk inherently means you can't, regardless of how you do it, unless you're just doing 8% a year on the value of the portfolio. And then again, in 2001 and 2, 2007, 8, 9, your 80,000 a year you started with is now only 32,000 a year. I guarantee no one wanted that to happen. Grandma Jones, who called in, did not want that. Well, I completely agree. I 100% with Brad. I think they're saying, "Oh, I can take 8% a year out." Dave Ramsey said, "8% of what, Grandma?" 80. Yeah, it's my man Tom. Tom, look at Tom. You missed that we proved the moon landing was a hoax, Tom. You had your chance, but you were too scared to jump in there. I just 100%. And this is the thing. At this stage, I almost wondered if Dave's a plant somehow, because he's so good at the debt reduction stuff, but his investment stuff is so just out of whack. It almost makes people who would benefit from his debt reduction stuff to not listen to him at all. And then on top of the fact he's a Christian, it's almost like he's put there to drive people away. I look, I hate to say it, but generally speaking, and then on top of that, he's going to confirm for some that his audience is ignorant Christians, because they're like, "Oh, those people just listen to Dave Ramsey." And most Christians, at least the ones I know, are a lot more like my man Tom here. You're not going to outsmart this guy. Let me tell you. And Tom's a deep Christian. Look, I don't care if you're freaking Sam Harris. Tom went up against Sam Harris. Sam Harris would be freaking Michael Spinks, and Tom would be Mike Tyson. That's all there is to it. And it's almost like, he's been put there to have good, way overwhelmed by his silliness, essentially. And then on top of that, being a Christian, Dave Ramsey's an idiot because he talks about investment, and he's a Christian. And as such, only people who listen to Dave Ramsey are ignorant Christians. And guy had 8 years to do tax planning for, and I could have done better using right capital. Yeah, but then again, if she's been in American funds for 8 years, she's made a lot of money. That's a fact. So again, if he just put her in there last 1 or 2 years, that's bad. If he's been in there for 8 years, no way. He hasn't done anything wrong by her, Joe. I'm just telling you right now, no way. Because if he would have sold to get her out of there, there would have been a capital gain on that. So she's screwed either way on a tax perspective, but at least she's screwed here by having made the money. If she just bought the fund, she's in CDs, he can encourage her to take some CD money and buy the funds, and now she's got a big tax bill. That's bad. But if she's been making money for the last 8 years, hey, she's got a gain. She can pay some tax on it. And the Ramsey was talking really. That's what I got too, man. Rachel Cruz ain't hard on the eyes either, if you know what I'm saying. She ain't hard. I didn't know she was Dave Ramsey's daughter until like 2 years ago. Yeah, Pulverizer and Pablo getting high on their SATs. Yeah, but now if she moves the money, if she sells those funds, she's gonna have her own capital gain tax to pay as well. That's a little. And when I say plan, I don't mean like, it's I think he's definitely on the narcissistic side, Penelope. I mean, hell. I mean, kind of anyone who's going to be doing this is, I'm somewhat narcissistic, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I like to see my videos get approved. I like to see people thumbs up. It pisses me off when people disagree with me. What was I getting ready to say? When I say a plant, I don't, it's not like someone tapped him on the shoulder. They say, "Hey, we're going to sell it. If you buy this ticket, you can." I don't think that. I think at the end of the day with Dave Ramsey, though, some people are allowed to grow more than others because they serve the beast. And I don't mean he does it deliberately. I'm not saying that. They're just a path of lesser resistance to helping people be more confused and do more unfortunate things to stay in the grasp of the beast, if that makes sense. You can kind of see it in the medical freedom movement. There's a lot of back and forth, some bad ways in the medical freedom movement. Some people are serving the beast by creating controversy that doesn't need to exist. And I, well, I say people are stupid all the time here too. I try. I mean, literally, I say, and I don't think I ever say people are. I say that's stupid, and people associate that with stupid. I don't think I've ever. I mean, maybe I have, but I don't think I don't deliberately try to say, Tom is stupid. That's what an idiot. I don't think I mean, talk about the left as a whole, sure. Talk about the politicians. I mean, look, man, come on. Barack Obama is dumb. That's all there is to it. Joe Biden is dumb. That's all there is to it. Kamala Harris is dumber than rocks. That's just a fact. You know what I'm saying? Come on, give me a break. I mean, those people are dumb, but they're public figures. But I don't ever think I said Jill, what an idiot. You know what I'm saying? Jill likes 1950 jazz music. I mean, how stupid can you be to like that? I would say something like that. How stupid can you be? But that doesn't mean Jill herself is stupid. I mean, choice of music is dumb for sure. But, I mean, my goodness, man. She's not stupid. I know that for a fact. I mean, Penelope, hell, I used to call her a plant. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Fiduciary Jill, don't even get me started. That's what I'm saying. How do they get famous? That's the thing is how do they get famous, man? Someone told me Scott Burns was on Morning Stars, the Longview. I couldn't find was it you, Penelope? Someone did. That Scott Burns was on the Morning Star, the Longview podcast. And I like Scott Burns, big lib, big greenie. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure he's a freaking pandemic guy, a vaxhole. But in terms of his financial planning, he way better chops than Dave Ramsey, that's for sure. It's hard to see. We can't see what tomorrow. I followed Dave. Yeah. Oh man. All we have past performance, not having debt is awesome. I followed Dave and paid off home. That's the thing. That's what makes Dave so great. If you follow his methodology to a T on the debt, you will be free from the beast. You'll be free from the beast. Yeah, Christine Benz is smoking hot. 100%, man. Oh, yeah, Christine. Yes, sir. I might be a plant for NASA. NASA wants the truth be known. So they say, Josh, tell the people the truth. And people like Tom says, no matter what evidence I got, NASA is always first. NASA first. That's what Tom says. Yeah, Christine Benz, she's looking pretty good. Oh, Christine, she got that. She always wears red with that yellow hair. Woohoo, man. Yes, sir. A blonde girl with red. Oh man, that's attractive for sure. Spanish girls like tan girls or stuff. I don't think red looks so good on tan. I was like, what? Maybe they do. My wife used to wear this red outfit. Yeah, that was pretty smoking hot. I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah, and she looks like she's Spanish when she's tan. That was pretty hot. I'm not gonna lie to you. Oof. I wonder if she's sleeping. She's still on here. Oh man, yeah. She used to wear I remember when we were in college, man, she'd get tan and we used to wear this red. Man. She's still hot, don't get me wrong, but she doesn't, right here in the wintertime, she's not tan. And oof, calm down, boy. Right they beat Miami today. I saw that, James. I saw that. Yeah. Man. Oh, man. Let's just put it this way. My wife's friend, when we were in college, so I remember we used to be in this big auditorium thing. I was checking her out, if you know what I'm saying. My wife's friend said, Charlotte, Josh is staring at you. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, funny. All right. Red is a popular culture with Asian folks? Huh. I think probably red would look good on any lady. Now I'm thinking about it. It's very, that's why Trump wears a red tie. It's very attractive, if that makes sense. And blonde hair with red, though, looks hot. That's a fact. I think red probably, I'm trying to think of red on Asian. Yeah, I can't picture that. I mean, I guess I could. But it's just a contrast, I suppose, the blonde and the red. But then again, like that bright blonde, like a not. I hate that fake blonde crap. Uh, like whatever that stuff is. But I used to date a girl in high school who did that blondes thing. And she goes, the minute I went blonde, I had so many more people asking me out. I said, really? She goes, yeah. I said, well, and then I came along. It's kind of funny. So it works. For some reason, men are attracted to blonde hair ladies. I wonder why. I wonder what that's about. Like, what's the attraction of blonde hair ladies? I don't know. Red is good luck. Hillary in red is stunning. Yes. Oh, Hillary in red would be freaking fantastic. Yes, Hillary in red would definitely not look like the ghoul that she does. Yeah. Big Mike in red might even make her look like a woman. You know what I'm saying? Big Mike. If Big Mike wore red, maybe even make her look like a woman. No, it wouldn't, because you can still see what's down low, if you know what I'm saying. I'm blonde but not dumb. Are you blonde, Jill? Yeah, I don't think blonde. I don't never like that dumb blonde thing. I never understood. I mean, I get it. They're trying because I don't know why, whatever. But yeah, I've never. That's always been weird. Oh, look at Angie. Angie's got yellow hair too. So red. See, redhead never did it. I will say that that strawberry redhead kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? But that ginger red, nah, dude, that doesn't do anything for me at all. That doesn't do anything for me at all. Red pantsuit. Give you a bell. Hey mom, I'm bringing my lady over. Who is it? It's Hillary Clinton, a red pantsuit. Jill, you got blonde hair and blue eyes? Damn. You're a Scandinavian, right? Imagine Hillary's hot sauce. Hillary would put extensions in her hair like black girls do, extensions. Oh, Hillary is just so freaking nasty. Literally, like, just the ghoul's ghoul. Like, I wonder when Hillary sold her soul. You know what I'm saying? Like, when did she do that? Because she's obviously of the devil. I mean, there's no other way around. She's obviously devilish. It just went. I bet Nancy Pelosi was hot. I bet she was hot, man, when she was young. I bet she was hot. So when did she sell her soul? I wonder if Nancy Pelosi even did sell her soul. Hillary obviously did. There's no way Hillary is legit. I wonder what not Nancy, what Hillary did. I wonder if Nancy Pelosi did. I mean, Biden obviously sold his soul because Biden's just that stupid. And I give Biden credit as a politicker. Guess they think blondes have more fun. Oh, you think that's why they think blondes are stupid or something like that? She lost her soul 100%. I think 100%, man. I think totally. I think she did. That's what I was thinking too, Ted. It's like when that happened, I think when she went down the crossroads, her and Bob Dylan. Chelsea's such a freaking clown. Chelsea sold her soul. She married the daughter of Marg Megavinsky or whatever, the lady who voted for Clinton's tax plan in 1993. And then the Republicans. This is when taxes meant something to the Republicans. That put us over the top tax wise. And so the Republicans, to raise taxes, Republicans went hard, and we took over the House and the Senate. The House and Senate. And then Mavinsky's son married Chelsea, and then he had a hedge fund that was doing like I think Greek futures or something like that. Then went bankrupt. And you're like, how are these guys not going to jail? I don't understand, man. It's crazy. Where did this money come from? Man, I bet you're freaking hot, Joe. Half or more German, rest is UK and some Sweden, Denmark. Oh, man, you kidding me? Swedish, Denmark, and some German in you? Damn. Yeah, that's what it was. Look at James. James knows stuff. Low Greek bonds, and it went bankrupt if memory serves. Damn, Joe, how are you not married, man? I bet you're a looker. Chelsea's husband is someone who related to no, it's not Newsom. It was his mom was the guy. I think her husband was an ex. Yes, though I think her husband was a congressman from California, if memory serves. I think you're right. I think he got sent to jail, or I think that's 100% right, Ted. Exactly right. Yes, sir. His mom was a congressman from Pennsylvania. I know that for a fact, but I think she was married to a congressman. just ugh. See that's what makes Dave Ramsey so good is we want to avoid this. We don't want to. We just you can't beat these guys. You just avoid them, and the best way to avoid them is to get out of debt. And that's what makes Dave so good. And then his his righteousness, his sacrifice was stupidity. It's just and again, not him being him being stupid, not him as stupid. If that makes sense, I hope you can see the difference there. Oh yeah, dude, mixed race folks are freaking hot, 100%, man. I don't care what anybody says. Whitney Houston was freaking hot, dude. That chick, and I don't think she's mixed race, but that light skinned black, I'm telling you, man. Oh, man, mixed race people are freaking hot, 100%. I remember there's a girl in high school, Antoinette. I don't think she's mixed race, but she looked like Whitney Houston. Oh, she was like freaking. I mean, she was just such a nice lady, smoking hot. I said, man, Antoinette, I'll never forget her. She was good looking. Yeah, Chelsea. Oh, Chelsea. John McCain's such a scumbag too. Don't forget, John McCain made fun of Chelsea's looks when Chelsea was still like 13 years old. That's freaking scumbag, dude. Whitney Sands, the wig was really Ooh, interesting. Interesting. Well, when she had that wig on, she was hot. That's all I gotta say about that. Of course, it's all fake anyway. I mean, I'm sure when they do all that stuff, she's like freaking looking like a zombie. But I mean, some of those pictures of Whitney Houston, like, damn, dude, she's freaking hot. I mean, oof. And her voice was good. No other way around that. Man, anyway, yeah, some of the black ladies, oof, there's some good looking black girls. That's a fact. I mean, I went out to high school, a lot of blacks in my high school. Some of those women are just, I mean, like freaking, and not just mixed race too. You're like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like just smoking hot. Stunning voice. Yeah, Whitney Houston was freaking, oh my goodness. That's from God. I think she was in, gospel music and stuff too. Yeah, it's sad, man. Sad how these, like, I don't think Whitney had to sell her soul either because she had such a good voice. But man, mm-mm-mm. So I'm from, Ireland. I'm from Maine. You know what I'm saying? And Maine, we're all pale because it's dark and just all pale. Irish people in Maine and all pale. French, Canadian, Irish. That's it. And so when I go down to my high school right outside Washington D.C., it's everybody from everywhere. It was like, I mean, it's crazy, man. You're just like, not very many Spanish people at that stage, but it's just a lot of black girls though, and there's no black people in Maine. So you're like, I mean, it was, man. I was like, damn, I was just good looking. Not all of them. I mean, there's tons of ugly black women, tons of ugly white women. But I was just like, I was like, damn, because you never see anything like that. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole new world, man. It was, man. Mm-mm-mm. No, I was no. That was when I went to high school. I only went to Portland High School as my first semester as a freshman. So I went to Cape Elizabeth my second semester as a freshman, Ted. And then I went to high school right outside Washington D.C. in the Silver Spring. So you have basically the D.C. line, and our high school is right there. In fact, I was talking to a client the other day. Dude, I'm just all man. When it comes to ladies, I'm all in, man. That's all there is to it. I mean, freaking Filipinas, freaking smoking hot. Asian chicks smoking hot. White girls smoking hot. Black girls smoking hot. What am I missing? Indians girls, from India, pretty hot. Native American Indians, hot. Canadians, no such thing as a good-looking Canadian. Latin girls, hot. I was with beautiful people, and I did not. I'll never forget when actually when I first got there. I'll never forget because they're all rich, and when I was sitting in class one time, and I didn't know anybody or anything like that, and I was from Portland High School, and Portland High School, my friends, is like kind of like your ghetto school from Maine, if you will. And I'll never forget sitting in class, and these three girls over here were talking. They said, "Oh, wow!" So they said something bad about Portland High School, like, "Oh man, blah blah blah." And then someone points that he just came here from Portland. She goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't." Blah, blah, blah. I remember that. I was like, "Oh, I didn't care," but I was like, I remember just being essentially, it's like Portland High School, friggin' rah, 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 and I just never forget that. And and then I remember I used to wrestle in high school. We go to these tournaments. They're like, tell those, I remember the people in the stands, cheering against us for Portland because, we were the poor kids essentially. It's kind of funny actually. Even though it was all white back then, even that back then it probably wasn't all white, but basically all white. But anyway, so then my dad moved to, he wanted me to go to Eastern High School in Southeast DC, and there's no white people there, none whatsoever. I said, Dad, I get you're liberal and I get you want me to get this cultural experience, but this is not going to work, man. It's not going to work. And so he said, really? I thought it'd be a great experience. I said, yeah, it's not going to work. And this in the middle when DC, it wasn't nearly as bad as it was back then. It was bad, man. And I'm not saying they would have shot me up because I was white or anything like that, but DC was quite violent back in the mid '80s, very, very violent. And so we moved like basically from the Georgia Ave goes through Washington D.C. into Silver Spring, Maryland, and our house is like right there on the line. And then we used to live in this duplex, and then our high school is just that way. There's a magnet school, to draw more studious children from out in the county. And anyway, so I was talking to a lady the other day, one of my clients, and she went to Whitman High School. I said, oh, Whitman High School. Yeah, I went to Blair. She goes, oh, Blair. I said, yeah, I've heard that before. Oh, Blair. It's kind of funny. Yeah, Portland High School, 2 blocks from I didn't see my first black person in Germany until I was 14. Damn, I was so curious. And then I married him, says Angie. My girlfriend's half Puerto Rican, half Dominican. Oh, man, dude. Yeah. Dude, how the hell did she hook up with you, Celtic Spirit? You must have said you had money you don't have. Why would a half Puerto Rican, a half Dominican girl hook up with Celtic Spirit? Dude, you're using some kind of avatar that ain't you, man. What the hell? What the hell, dude? No way. No way. She's like, oh, I thought you were going to be handsome and rich. You're like, I'm rich in the heart. She goes, no, I don't want rich in the heart. I want rich in the wallet there. And you're not even handsome. I mean, because you're freaking pale, dude. You're like pale. You got freckles all over your place. You know what I'm saying? You look like you never got any sunshine at all. And your freaking Latin girl here is crushing. Oh, my goodness. Is that where you went to school, Detroit, James? Damn. You went to Detroit schools? Oof. There's like 1 or 2 black kids in both doctor's kids, one Asian, also doctor kid. Yeah, that's funny. I'll never forget, just real quick. Man, James, you're white, right? Well, you're Greek. So that's a Greek name, Palace. So you're white, right? That's crazy. Had 1 black in our high school. Yes, DC, 100%. Marion Barry. Opposites attract. Yep. Yes, you were. But I'll never forget walking down the hall one time, my first year at Blair. I was 5, short kid, skinny kid, big glasses. I still had my Maine accent. I'm just walking down the hall, and this big black guy, he probably like 25 years old, probably his 8th year in high school at Franklin. He grabs me and pushes me up against the blocker. He says, get out of my way. And I said, I wasn't. And I just like, whoa, I'll never forget Franklin. And I said, it was like, whoo, you know what I'm saying? This never happened back in Maine. You know what I'm saying? I said, Dad, get me out of here. And then it was funny too, because my first couple of days at lunch, I'll never forget, was sitting in lunch line. This black kid came up to me and he asked me for he said, hey, you got 10 cents for money? I said, yeah, I got 10. I was just like, yeah, here's 10 cents. And we had a security guard, Jackie, a black guy named Jackie. Turned out let's just say he was recovering supposedly. It turns out we could buy some. Later on, as I learned my way, it turns out you could get some stuff from Jackie, if you know what I'm saying, even though he's recovering, but he's a security guard. He goes, boy. I'm like, yes, sir. He goes, don't let me catch you giving any money to anybody I'll come up here next time. Don't let me catch you doing that again, boy. You're going to come up and record it next time. Don't do it. Let me catch you. You see him as you come talk to me. And so we just asked for a dime. He goes, no. Next time it's going to be a quarter. Don't you? I was like, okay. And I was like, so I'm like, remember the next day, I was like, I'm going home from this on my first day. The kid wasn't like aggressive. He just asked for a quarter. Maybe he was feeling me out. If I was an easy target, probably was. But I was like, all right, I gave him a dime or something like that. And then Jackie ripped in front of all these people. And I was like, okay. And so the next day, I was like nervous. I was like, what if the kid asks me for money and I don't give it to him? Now I'm thinking the kid's like going to try to fight me or something like that. And I'm like, but I don't want to. What am I spending? I was looking around for Jackie in case I need him. I'll never get it. My second day, I was like sitting there, like, please don't let this kid come up to me, please. Like these 4 lines. So I try to be as conspicuous as possible. I was like, there's no Jackie around. And this guy be like, what if this kid asks me for money? What am I going to do? Tell him no? And it never happened. I lost the main accent many moons ago because no one could understand me down there because I was too out of place. I'm this short white kid, skinny. And it wasn't all black high school. It was very mixed. You know what I'm saying? It was probably a third black, a third white, third parts unknown. Probably something like that. But my accent stuck out, but big time. And I just, so I didn't want to draw attention. You know how it is. You don't want to draw attention to. You're like, dude, I want people to stand like a freaking like a sore thumb. All right, I can get out of here, my friend. Pulverizer's closed up shop with this right here. He never graduated high school because he's smoking reefer with Pablo. Right on, right on. So I deliberately learned to get rid of my main accent, Angie. And if I still drank, it would come out. And even when I was drinking, after I got the army, it would come out. You know what I'm saying? Just as in you. They were nickel and diming me. I think they were sizing me up, but who knows? So I never saw the kid again. I don't know if Jackie, I don't know what happened. I just know that I was done. That didn't occur. But for the next couple of days, I was like, I was scared, man. I was like, I don't know what to do. I'm not going to fight some black kid. You know what I'm saying? I was even back then, if you're from Maine, you can't say it's a black kid. You can't. You got to say it's a kid. He goes by the name of, Jamal. He likes rap music. What does he look like? He had shiny white shoes. He wore his hat sideways. Like, well, what do you look like? Because in Maine, if you say you're racist, if you say a black guy is a black guy, it's crazy. And that it's like you can't say that because they'll call you racist. But you're like, how else do you identify? If you got a basketball team with 11 blacks and 1 white, and the one Peyton Pritchard's out there, everyone's gonna call him the white guy. You know what I'm saying? Because he's the one different than the rest. If you got a freaking hockey team with freaking I don't know how many people they suit up, but let's say 20 players and the goalie's black, you say the goalie's black. You know what I'm saying? It suits out. You can't do that in Maine. You can't say that guy's a black. Now, I think nowadays you have to because now it's all racially conscious. But you're confused up in Maine. You're like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Am I supposed to say he's black or I'm not? I can't tell. Josh, was Jay's Oyster Hangout? Everyone, 1, 2 Fish. Man, I don't even know what that place is. That must be after my time, Ted. They used to have the Sportsman Grill on the other side of town. I remember that. And there was one on the Old Port. I think it was Old Port Tavern, if memory serves. That has been around for a long, long time. Sportsman Grill did close down. That was going down towards Maine Medical Center. And the Old Port Tavern was there. I remember that. But I think that's since closed down. I think it closed down just recently, actually. And my mom used to take me to some organic place up on the West End back in the 70s. I always forget what's Good Egg something. No, Good. What was that place called? Good. I forgot, man. There used to be they'll call you racist 100%, and you can't win. So that's what I'm saying. So if you can't win, stop playing the game. Just okay, you're gonna call me racist for anything, so I don't care. Just you don't care. And never, ever, ever, for the love of the good Lord, never say one of my best friends is black. I still can't believe I hear this from white people. Don't do that. You sound like a freaking idiot. Say, oh, I'm racist. Okay. What else is new? If someone calls you racist, say, what else is new? I just say, okay. Or you say, yeah, you're right. I just stop with this apologetic stuff, man. It's so embarrassing. It's okay to root for Christian McCaffrey. It's okay to root for the white guy playing basketball. It just is. Just stop with the freaking apologetics. Like, oh, I don't want to be called. They're going to call you racist for anything. So who cares? When I say they, it's not even black people. It's white people, mostly. So just say whatever. They say, yeah, you're right. Because they have no comeback to that. So and that's when you shut them up. Say, all right, whatever. All right, that's what you want to say. Okay, or yeah, right, yeah. Just like the Indians in the old days. The Indians were called racist because they want to retain the positive characteristics of their race. They don't want to give it all up to the freaking the Americans. They said, we're not going to become Americanized. We're going to stay Indian. Well, that's racist. You're damn right. Hey, you can't argue with the crazy. Okay, whatever. Like 100%, Ted. It's like, whatever. I don't care. But still, white people, like, they always have to freaking. Let me tell you, that's what they'll say. I'm not against vaccines, but it's just a COVID vax. I'm like, why do you always got to qualify it? I'm not a racist, but I don't like affirmative action. In fact, my best friend's black. I was like, just stop qualifying. All right, I'm getting tired. I'm gonna get out of here, man. We'll see you guys. God bless. Thanks for being here. God bless.